I can't get out of bed. There's too much in my head. I could be more faithful, but I fail at that habit. So I run around instead. I wanna be good to myself, love hard to breathe more, drink less. I wanna be seen at my best, sleep more, be nice a lot less. All I need is 21 days and I'm fine. January 1, I'ma still need more time. Every single year, yeah, it never fails, I try. But maybe I don't ever wanna put down this life. I could be your best friend, but I can't pick up my phone. Let it ring cause no one's home. I'm always judging and degrading. I should stop all that, I'm sure, but I'm just too insecure. I wanna be good to myself, love hard to breathe more, drink less. I wanna be seen at my best, sleep more, be nice a lot less. All I need is 21 days and I'm fine. January 1, I'ma still need more time. Every single year, yeah, it never fails, I try. But maybe I don't ever wanna put down this life. All I need is 21 days and I'm fine. January 1, I'ma still need more time. Every single year, yeah, it never fails, I try. But maybe I don't ever wanna put down this life.
Memorized in my heart.
walking down the boulevard. She got the posture of a superstar. She looks so fly in those Gucci slides. Yeah, yeah, I wonder what she hides under her disguise. Yeah, 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 yeah. And all the girls around the world, they wanna be it. And all they do just tryna score like it's fever. She lives a double life, puts on a show. What's under the subtle smile, you'll never know. She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her.
Let me paint a picture. I see they don't understand. Feeling like Picasso. She brushing against my hands. Seen you from around the way. You didn't give me the time of day. You be making moves that yeah, who really care what Simon say? All the bad things, girl, I had to look past that. Call yourself a dime, I'm just trying to get my cash back. You be looking fine, so no wonder they can't match that. Louis V scarf, or I'm chilling with a dad hat. Whoa, slow it down like that. Just hold me down like that. Yeah.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her. She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her. She's a Mona Lisa.
There's something about the way that you understand. We don't need a rush and we don't need to make no plan. You say, pace yourself, slow it down. And I don't want to waste my days with no one else. I love how it feels. Killing time, you and I. Hours, minutes, days and nights. Trading all of our deadlines for conversations over wine. Killing time, you and I. In this moment we're alive. Infatuated with your eyes and the way they look at mine when we're killing time. There's something about the way you talk with your hand. The way that you say my name when nobody's there. No, no. You say it's alright. Take your space if you need a break. And if I need to disconnect, that's okay. This ain't no race. Killing time, you and I. Hours, minutes, days and nights. Trading all of our deadlines for conversations over wine. Killing time, you and I. In this moment we're alive. Infatuated with your eyes and the way they look at mine. We're killing time. Killing time, you and I. Hours, minutes, days and nights. Trading all of our deadlines for conversations over wine. Killing time, you and I. In this moment we're alive. Infatuated with your eyes and the way.
Oi, oi! It's Friday, motherfuckers. Happy hour time. Let's do this shit. I'm Kevin Logan. I'm not suspended on Twitter. Joining me, as ever, she's also not suspended
Yes.
on Twitter.
Also, not. No.
Dr. Kristi Winters.
Not at all suspended on Twitter. Nope. Oh. So let's
Good
all wave
stuff.
hands, people who can still be on Twitter, because we are not massive racists violating the terms of service or calling for violence or anything else.
Indeed.
Anyway, yeah. How are you, Kev?
I'm very well, Kristi. I'm very well. I spent a little bit of time putting together more audio stuff for the alerts for the notifications.
Oh, how exciting. So are you going to tell them? Are you going to preview
No.
them for us? Or are you just going to make people throw money at you?
Throw
and
money
do
at
things?
me and you get the noises and the sounds. Some of them might include Rory cats. I can't promise anything.
Yeah, oh, that's just, if that's a bait and switch, man, that's
It's
cruel.
It's not.
You're promising
is,
some pussy and then you're not going to deliver.
Ew. Anyway, what you been up to?
I started in on serializing this Racist White History Month into individual videos with all the swear words taken out. You want to check out? Well, you can show people on my channel, but yeah, the
Absolutely,
Churchill.
Kristi,
Yeah.
absolutely pathetic. Taking the swear words out, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, so in the one that you did,
Which
it
was
was double.
quite sweary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was more. There were like probably 20 some swears, and in mine there was maybe one. But that's
Why isn't
That's
it done? Do the thing, you cunt! I'll put the fucking noise and the sound on, and it's not done it. Oh,
I'm sorry, Kevin.
end me. Sorry. Go on. You were saying?
What was I saying?
I don't fucking know anymore. I'm too angry. I'm blind with rage.
Oh, okay. Well, do you need to just rely on your other senses now to get you through the rest of the show?
Exactly. I'm gonna have to touch my way through the show.
You're gonna. Whoa. Okay. Consent first.
I didn't say I was touching people. Touching sounds and ideas,
Touching
Kristi.
me, touching you.
I'm touching hearts and touching butts. Anyway, go on. Sorry, go on. You were saying something about swearing or some bollocks. I don't know.
Oh right, yeah. If you go to my YouTube channel, you
There
can
we
just
go.
sort
I'm
of
trying to
show
find.
it.
Yeah, there we go. Right.
Yeah, and the new playlist.
Boom.
Is called. Yep, 2 new episodes.
There you go.
You can go check them out.
Racist white people.
Racist white people series.
Although you seem to not have a problem with the word history involved in this, and I don't know why, because the whole point is racist history, is White History Month, isn't it?
Well, that was kind of like the thing that started it, but then I also didn't want us to not do contemporaneous racist in case we wanted to. So it just ended up being like, and Women's History Month is still a celebration of women today. So I just kind of dropped the history part of it and just went, let's just document some racist white people. Officially. Like we do it all the time, but
We
like
do
on
it all the
purpose
time,
in an
yeah.
educational way. All the time. We're going to do it today.
We are going to do it today. I know it. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my alert box. I'm going in there.
You're going to have to fix it.
Yeah, so that was bits, wasn't it? I definitely put a thing up for bits. Look, there's the
I
thing.
just have a feeling they're all different colors, so maybe you have to change them individually. I have a feeling that if
That's what you're going to do. Sorry. Apologies. Yeah.
What are you apologizing to whom? For what?
Just in general for my existence, really.
No, if Kevin were like an auto mechanic in his job and he had fixed something in the car and you went with him for a ride and you got I don't know what's near you, the M25? What's where the
What the
M's
fuck?
around you?
What is wrong with you, woman? The
I don't
M25 is
know
the London
roads.
Ring Road. You should know by now that Birmingham's Ring Road is the M42. Outrageous.
All right, so you're on the M42, and Kevin starts hearing like a clunking sound in the engine, and it's be pissing down with rain, right? Just cars flying by. He's like, nope, I'm pulling over. We have to figure out what that noise is coming out.
Yeah,
of
do you
the
that
engine.
slight tinny kind of squeak going on there? No, we need to sort that. This is not. No. A job's worth doing. It's worth doing well, dickhead.
I don't care if we're gonna miss the christening. I'm not gonna drive the whole way with that knocking sound.
Your wife can give birth in the fucking lay-by.
All right. So
If it was good enough for Jesus, get in the fucking barn. Sorry. Anyway, a thing happened. A noise happened. It's fixed now. So I promise you, I think, if you give the thing, the noise will happen. You'll see the thing. Apologies
If you do
to
the
whoever
thing with
this
the
was.
thing, the thing will happen, and then
If you throw money at me, it happens. Thank you to Raven G, who gives 100 bits and says, Antifa has a gun to my head right now. That's a decidedly weird thing to say, but thank you nonetheless.
Yes, quite. How are you typing that?
I'm. Well, it's not got the gun to the hands, presumably.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, just to the head.
Indeed. Anyway, so yeah, go and subscribe to Kristi. It's linked below. Go and do it now. All
Yes.
7 billion of you who are watching.
Or also, in future, if like there's something that you learn on this channel, this way you don't have to go through a 4-hour episode of the Happy Hour to track down that one little factoid that you wanted to make a point about. You'll know right where it is.
True.
Ja, dat war die idea. Das war die Idee.
Bringing fucking foreigners in.
You understood what I said.
Well, yeah, because you said it in English first.
Well, see, that's how close, but das war die Idee. That was the idea. It's like, you can see how they're freaking cousin languages.
You just started scatting halfway through that. Anyway, the skibbity-bibbity racisms is what we're going to be looking at later. For now, it's not so much racism, kind of, but certainly authoritarian dipshittery. As we take a look at Prager a couple of days ago released what I think is a classic from their oeuvre of absolute nonsense. It's called I Used to Be Antifa. Now,
and can I just say...
No, it doesn't say I used to be in Antifa. I used to be a part of Antifa. I used to be Antifa.
I am Spartacus.
Which is good. I like the kind of... It's quite ballsy. Quite a Chad maneuver to say I'm the entirety of Antifa. Anyway, go on.
Yes, and it seems that this person was initially an emotionally driven, slightly conceptually and intellectually vacuous person on the left who is now really fitting in with by being a highly emotional, angry, hateful, vacuous, intellectually vacuous person on the right and getting paid by PragerU. So how left were they when they can't accurately describe their own belief system? It's kind of like people who said, "Oh, I used to be an atheist because I was mad at God." Like, yeah, you use the word atheist, but you weren't really an atheist. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. But this person's God is critical race theory, or something. I don't know. That doesn't really matter. Yeah. And as someone points out, I am the CEO of Antifa, and this man was never on my books. So, sorry.
Checkmate, PragerU.
Calling you out, motherfucker.
Yeah, we've got the receipts. Well, actually, we don't because we destroy them because we don't want any records of what our organization does. But you get my meaning.
Exactly.
Like, there was paperwork at one point.
Well, George Soros has got the kind of mind prison thing going on. So, like, he remembers all things. He's got an eidetic memory for communists or something. I don't know.
But just for communists.
Which is a really weird and not particularly useful piece of eidetic memory, but... Could be worse, I guess. Anyway, this person, I don't know a lot about them, but all I know is PragerU, A, like someone who left the left, and B, especially, they're a little bit brown. A little bit muy caliente, especially,
Yeah, far-right people who look more tan than white people do when they tan. They're like, oh.
A person who does season their food is a person they like to front their obvious weird fascisms.
Yeah, but not the food. It's too spicy.
No, they don't want the food, Kristi. We'd give them heartburn. But they want the people who eat the food.
Maybe this is it, like maybe there's something, like I like jalapenos. Maybe like liking spicy food, there's a link there. Like get over your fear of racism, try food with flavor.
Yes. And if not, they might die of heartburn. So...
Well, win-win.
Checkmate. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll just go around handing out chili bonnets or whatever, the Scotch bonnets. That's what they are. Scotch bonnets.
Kristi's talking, and I need to make that stop.
There was a time in my life when I was angry, bitter, and deeply unhappy.
Because you could only be angry, bitter, and unhappy if, if you're a leftist. You're a leftoid. Also,
I do appreciate the sound effect.
Yeah, that's... yeah, I know. What am I looking for there? Sorry, I was trying to... Yeah.
To lash out at the whole fascist system the greedy, heartless power structure that didn't care about me or the rest of society's innocent victims. A system that had robbed, beaten, and stolen from my ancestors. The whole corrupt edifice deserved to be brought down, reduced to rubble.
Is he part of Infrared's rising?
I think very possibly so, yes.
Tiny monkey?
The Tiny Monkey Army, which again, if you give us whatever one I put that on, it'll make that noise. Anyway.
I just saw something and I didn't hear a noise.
What did you say?
Cat, maybe?
Oh, you did? Okay. Why didn't the noise happen? Oh, fucking hell. Okay. It's Raven G. I can only apologise. They say, again, they've given 200 bits and not gotten what I promised. Anyway. Although you should be used to that, I think, if you're a viewer of mine. You should be used to me not rising to the occasion. All praise to the Neolibrazor, the synthetic hybrid deity who controls all synthetic leftist agenda. True. I thank you, yeah. Maybe you'll get a fucking sound at some point. I'm going back into the alert box. I'm furious. Right, bits.
What did you do last time to fix it?
Right, media.
Yeah.
Is it just too low?
It's like an 8.
Well, that shouldn't... Hang on, right, I'm going to test it. This might blast your fucking head off now.
We're gonna fight 'em off. A tiny monkey army couldn't hold me back.
There you go. It's a thing. So...
Yeah, look, you didn't fake promise Rory. There's actually some Rory in there.
Exactly. It's there. Streamlabs and Kevin both suck. True. I can't even deny that. That's just correct. Anyway, the basic point I was going to make before noises and cats happened was you don't have to want the whole system to crumble to be Antifa. That's just not true. You can just be, anti-fascist. That's fine. There are lots of people who are that way, who are anti-capitalists, etc., etc. But you just have to be an anti-fascist. It's fine.
Yeah, there's nothing to do with economics, and there's nothing about bringing down democratic systems at all.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure. I think maybe this person doesn't understand what fascism is.
Indeed. Well, I think the prime example would be someone like Mesa Gifford, who's a person you may have heard of, you may have not. He was a British guy who went to fight with the Peshmerga in Syria. He's a white guy, went to Syria to fight against ISIS and against the kind of forces of reaction in that part of the world. And he was formerly a Conservative councillor. He was an elected politician for the Conservative Party. Yeah, it's a weird story, but the basic point is you can be an anti-fascist and not necessarily an anti-capitalist.
Right. Correct. Yes, these are completely orthogonal concepts. They're like exogenous. They are not intertwined.
Indeed. The noise didn't happen again. Fuck me. Quill the Queer just cheered with 100 bits for hang on a minute. This I'm gonna fucking fix by the power of Grayskull. I'm going to make this fucking happen.
I think you should change the title from whatever it is to Kevin sorts out his Streamlabs noises.
Change media.
Globo.
No, not that
We're
one.
gonna fight 'em off.
There we go. Boom.
Were you singing Globo Homo?
I might have been. And what of it? Hang on, bits.
Oh,
A tiny monkey army hold me back.
There we go. I don't know why it echoes, but that'll do.
I don't know why that goes either.
Yeah, that's very strange. Anyway, yes. So hopefully at some point, if someone does a thing, it'll actually make a fucking noise. I hate the world. Anyway, are we done? Should we carry on?
Oh yeah. We can.
Or should we just go fucking Jamestown with the bastard? Fuck's sake.
I was a perfect recruit for
Jonestown. I meant to say Jonestown. It was a silly joke.
Oh, I was kind of confused.
Jamestown was
why
a
about
colony.
Early colonial Virginian colonies. Yeah. Like, what was that historical?
Also,
reference
look at
I'm
this
not getting?
fucking dweeb. Oh, there.
Yeah.
Sorry. He did the noise. Anyway, Bilderberg with 20 bits says, a thing. That's what they put. So, thank you, yeah. So
Appropriate. Very fitting.
yeah,
Very Kevin.
it worked this time. Fuck me, sideways. If someone gives a gift sub and the noise actually happens, I might come.
When you say that, all I can hear in my head is the little Dicky line where he goes, also, girl, I won't fuck from the side. Girl, I lose like half my dick.
I don't even know what that means.
Like, okay, picture it.
Fuck from the side, I lose half my dick.
Yeah, because I'll draw you a picture after the show.
Please don't. I don't want. This is a thing I did not think I'd have to say to my co-host. I prefer to not have your weird drawn pornography. Thank you.
Well, it's just the physics in certain angles.
What, you're gonna give me fucking?
What? What? No, Kevin, you have to take that down.
Why?
No.
Why do I have to take that down? Kristi, please describe for me. Why is that a problem for you? It's a meme.
It's a little too right wing.
It's a meme, but it's a meme. We're doing the Globo Homo. We're gonna make everyone a trans cat girl. It's going to fucking happen.
Yeah. Also, nobody listens. Do not diss Little Dicky. He's got very funny and very witty lyrics, which I will stand
Raven
every
G,
day of the week.
Absolutely killing it. And you got the noise this time. They gifted 2 subs to.
Ooh, nice.
That must make me 7 and Bones of Doom. Thank you very much.
Wow, it's very interesting names on Twitch.
Very interesting names. Well, my regular contributor, Jacunty Bollocks, is
yes,
very, very amusing. Anyway, yes. So, yeah, thank you to that. Those are the noises and the things. So, that was my afternoon well spent, albeit slightly frustratingly at times.
What other songs did you try out and not use? Did you have other ideas that ended up getting put on?
Yeah, I was going to do my rendition of Seal's "Kiss from a Rose."
Okay.
I was also possibly going to do, which was a meme that hasn't really stuck, so it didn't really make sense. Was the sung version of Fat Bottom Girls, but replaced with Top Heavy Jews.
Oh God, Jesus God.
No, well, we were watching a right-wing thing, and they were going about it being top-heavy with...
cringe. Very...
Yes, it would have been very cringe.
It was very cringe. Thank you for your interjection there, Caleb. I much appreciated. Yeah, and they were going about the Russian Revolution being top-heavy with Jews, right? No, that's what I do. I watch right-wing shit and debunk it, right? So that's fine. But I kept saying top-heavy Jews instead of top-heavy with Jews.
All right, so Fat Bottom Girls.
So, and someone said that would work with Fat Bottom Girls, and I was like, oh, it kind of would. So, while you take me home tonight, down beside that red firelight, you gonna make it all hang out?
You're gonna let it all hang out.
Let it all hang out. Top heavy Jews, you make the rocking world go round. So that was going to be a
That just sounds like you like people who are Jewish who like have big like
busty Jews. Yes. Who doesn't like a busty Jew? Fucking Christ. Anyway, yes, and people were then doing people did obviously big titty milky mummy milky Jew jokes, obviously. But people then also pointed me in the direction of a Jewish sect who have a weird thing where they have like a weight that they dangle from like their heads. It's a very weird niche Jewish sect, but it's a real thing. And they were like, oh, this is also a top-heavy Jew, because they've got a weight on their head. That works. That works. Anyway.
Yeah, that meme didn't take off so much.
It didn't take off so much.
It was competing with space lasers at the time, so obviously.
Exactly, yeah. And there's only room for so many slightly anti-Semitic memes. Anyway, Tony Blakeway gives $1. Thank you very much. By the way, Streamlabs is a thing. It's linked below both of the videos. I don't know why I need to read it out. You've got a link. It's there. Use it if you want to. Or not. Whatever. Tony Blakeway says, what sound does that fucking make then? Horsey dance for us, Kev. Also, aren't you technically banned from Twitter too? I know you're not ban evading after all. Correct. That is technically true. You've absolutely done me. Yeah. No, that's fair. I can't argue with that. Anyway, can we get this fucking dweeb moving?
Can we get past the 30-second mark?
Yeah, Gabriel Nadales, who is a proper prick.
Antifa, the left-wing group which claims to fight against fascism. And so, I became a member. Now I was one of those who had the guts to fight against the fascists.
If you haven't received your Antifa lanyards yet, please get in touch with HR. Otherwise, you won't be able to gain access to Antifa HQ. Okay.
Sorry, is he a Batman on the front of that thing? Can you please go back?
I became a member. Now I was one.
Oh, okay. It's just it's him with an angry face. Look, his forehead is red.
Yeah, he had some overheating issues. Maybe just hydration might have been a problem there for you, Gabriel.
I became a member. You know, this is how you know he's lying his ass off. I became a member.
Yeah, he became a member, and he got his lanyard, obviously. But did he get his swipe card? Did he get his swipe card to get past the security, you know?
Why are the lanyards yellow and not commie red?
Because of George Soros or something.
Right.
Yep, that'll do.
Okay.
Fuck
We
it.
bought them in bulk, and then they sat in the sun, and they bleached to like an orangey yellow.
Exactly. We've already paid for them now.
Yes.
You know, I mean, we could go back to George, but he doesn't like to be disturbed. He's eating baby brains, so just let's not disturb him, you know?
One of those who had the guts to fight against the fascists who were exploiting disadvantaged people. I wasn't a card-carrying
What are you even
anti-fascist.
talking about? What are you even fucking talking about? The fascists that were exploiting, the poor people? What does that even fucking mean?
His understanding of, well, anything, seems to suggest his experience in this area is not vast.
Yes, especially since it's Antifa as an anti-fascist, not Antifa, like you're doing the da-dun-da-da-dun-dun-dun Trump
Antifa
version of it. Antifa. No, it's Antifa. Anyway.
Or my favourite horticultural terrorist group, Antifa.
Boom.
Such thing as an official Antifa membership, but I was ready at a moment.
So why did you do the lanyard thing then? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Well, I'm going to show a visual of a lanyard from an organisation that I just say doesn't exist.
I'm going to become a member of a group for which there is no membership.
Yeah. So, checkmate? Checkmate, liberals? I don't know.
Oh my god, how does anyone take this seriously?
Yeah. But also, we've got him mid-transition here because he's still got the forehead, but he's smiling now. So.
Oh, he's angry on the top, but smiley on the bottom?
Exactly. He's an emotional...
yes.
What you call it?
Kaleidoscope.
No, he's an emotional mullet. Angry on top, happy behind. You know? That's the way it goes.
Partying the...
Slip on the black mask and march in what Antifa calls the Black Bloc, a cadre of other black-clad Antifa members to taunt police and destroy property.
Yeah, that's why they do that. To taunt the police and destroy property. It's not so they can act in a unified way to give direct opposition to fascists. No.
Right.
It's to do yo mama snaps at the police.
Mm-hmm. That's what really does it.
Exactly.
Yes. I wonder, I would like to go up to him and say, what does it feel like to sell your soul? Like, do you, now that it's over, do you miss, is there an emptiness inside of you? Or, how does that feel? To sell out to pure evil.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I kind of feel like maybe, can you fill up an emotional hole with physical money?
Yeah, I think that's probably what he's trying to do. It's like, so. I'll put some more bitcoins on top of that.
And my favourite element of all of that joke that I just did is that these people, as conservative religious types, should be aware of the Judas story, right? And how that ends.
Well, the Christians especially, but of course everybody knows. I think that's generally culturally accepted knowledge now.
Exactly, and it's obviously not a real fucking story. It didn't happen, but
no.
But
the idea of it,
the philosophy behind it is actually quite righteous. The sellout literally, okay.
Generally, it doesn't work out.
Suicide and
I'm
stuff.
thinking like
hangs himself, and at his feet are the 50 pieces of silver that he sold his soul for. It didn't do anything for him. So
like
don't
Benedict
sell out
Arnold.
for money. Literally, it's in the Bible. Don't sell out for money. It's shit.
And people who have sold out their own have, not really. I guess some prosper more than others. But I'm thinking like Benedict Arnold. People are like, everything's gonna be fine, and then you go over the other side, and they don't trust you either because you're a traitor.
Was Jesus a top-heavy Jew?
Well, it depends on how long his beard got, I guess.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he put on a bit of weight, he became quite a busty Jew. The lad. Fair play to him. Anyway, I think that's both anti-Christian and anti-Jew. I think I've been racist to everyone.
You are like on a tear of offensiveness tonight.
But what's wrong with globo homo? We're taking the word back. I want to say back.
Okay.
It was never ours, so we're just taking the word.
That's your Kevin effort. Okay.
Yeah, fuck it. Look. Praxis comes in many forms.
All right. It's a global homo
Antifa
dance.
stands for anti-fascist, but that's purposefully deceptive. For one thing, the very name is calibrated so that anyone who dares to criticize the group or its tactics can be labeled fascist.
You've labelled everyone fascist, including one particular country. Trust me, you will know which one I mean by my reaction. Later, who you describe as fascist. Look, you literally do the thing you're complaining about now, later on.
Also, could he be more obvious? He's reading off of cards.
Yeah, he's not a naturally skilled communicator, the lad.
Yeah. Like, they could have just cut that scene earlier so you wouldn't see his eyes move, so I kind of blame the editor.
Yeah. True.
We're gonna fight 'em off.
There we go.
Monkey army couldn't hold me back.
Thank you, Raven G. This guy and Dennis Prager and Timmy Tool, Tim Pool. Timmy Tool Time Pool.
Ooh.
Okay, that's quite nice. Do these kind of scams to misinform memas and peepars. Indeed, and actually it must be borne in mind, the fact that they try and say that they're doing this for like in a youth way, that's why they got the fancy graphics and the young people, although Dennis Prager also presents quite a lot, but you get the idea. And the same is true with the Turning Point USA and all the rest of it. All of their advertising, because the thing is, when you advertise on Facebook or Twitter, you can strictly advertise to demographics, right?
Yes,
so
you can target them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely. Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense to have like incontinence pads for 25-year-olds. It's
Right.
not really like that big a deal. Or life insurance for 25-year-olds, not something they're thinking about very much. Or the latest pop music for over 60s, So,
Yeah.
and these groups overwhelmingly advertise at 50 and over. They're literally trying to make boomers who can see their neoliberal capitalist hegemony crumbling in front of them, make them feel good before they die. That's what's happening. That's all this is.
You send this to the grandkids.
Exactly, yeah. And the grandkids go, oh, can she die already? Like, I don't hate her or anything, but, like, oh, God.
Can I block Grandma on Facebook, Mom, please?
Yeah. Can we smother her with a pillow? Can we? Like,
No.
I think it would be best for everyone, including her. She doesn't like life. So tick off old people as well. Good.
Although I also find it amusing, the chat can't see this, but on the far right of the screen, they have their donations. I went about a month ago. They were at $36,000.
Yeah, that's
Now,
there.
now they're at 46.
Yeah. Well, like that, to fight censorship. In what way is that fighting censorship?
While they're on YouTube.
Not sure that's a thing, but okay. Dickheads. Anyway, so let's hear about how Antifa are actually the real Nazis.
Oh, right, yes. In this
allows
parallel
Antifa to
universe.
Yes.
Justify
Earth 2.
violence
The extended Pragerverse. Yes.
Yes, quite.
against all who dare stand up or speak out against them. A few
Nope.
groups boldly declare themselves Antifa, like Rose City Antifa in Portland, but most don't, preferring to avoid the negative publicity. That's part.
But how do they get negative publicity if everyone who opposes them can just be called a fascist? Again, they just from one sentence to the next, presumably because they know their audience is so old that, like the goldfish, they've forgotten already the previous sentence, which disproves the sentence they've just said.
Yeah, but they also have to explain why they are so afraid of Antifa, given there's like one group in Portland that's Antifa, and like that's it. Oh, there's so much more. They just don't call themselves Antifa.
It's almost like echoes, the enemy is at once both enormous and an existential threat, and also pathetically weak and must be crushed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Almost like they're trying to do a fascisms.
Oh wait, because they are fascisms.
Which wouldn't make sense, because I thought Antifa were the real fascisms.
It's so confusing.
Curious.
Part of Antifa's appeal and strength. It's hard to pin down. There is no identifiable leader. To be part of Antifa, you must adopt two basic principles.
Got to step in at this point and just say...
yeah, Kevin?
Hello? You're looking at him. Who's got two thumbs and is definitely the CEO of Antifa. This motherfucker!
Yep.
Outrageous.
The way they diss you.
You have to.
So these are the two principles of anti-fascism, apparently.
Okay, principles are ideas, right?
They are.
They're like value statements, beliefs about, that sort of, frame how you think the world should be or how it could be better.
Have the mentality of an anti-fascist. And second, you
What
must
does
be
that
willing
mean?
to enforce that mentality.
These are not principles.
No. Also, what you've just described there, although the word enforce is a bit dodgy, but what you've just described there is politics. You must have the mentality of a person who believes your thing and then have the willingness to engage that idea in political situation. Like, that's what politics is, my man. That's what you're doing right now.
Yes. Yes. This is like enforcing a mentality is, I don't know, like trying to prohibit the teaching of critical race theory or prohibiting the teaching of yoga.
Yoga. Oh, no, that's ridiculous, man.
Forcing doctors to lie to their patients about medical risks. That seems to me like the most dangerous, like way more dangerous than, protesting police violence. Actually having power and abusing it is way more dangerous.
I think so, yeah.
To adopt an anti-fascist mentality means to reject everything that is fascism. But that begs...
What?
Well, I mean... okay, right. This might seem a bit kind of weird and esoteric or whatever, but basically, no, right?
Yeah.
Fascism also includes the intake of oxygen and the expel of carbon dioxide. It's a core part of what fascists do every day they're alive. Yeah. So no, it doesn't mean a rejection of everything. Like they also believe in manufactured produce. Yeah. Like what are you talking about?
Yes.
This is not a serious political analysis of anything.
And of course, he's not, again, as per usual in a Prager video, they're not quoting anyone. They're not citing any sources. They're just up here lying to our faces.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Have you seen them, has any expert been consulted here? Do they have they usually even go with like a Steven Pinker quote or something. Like it's usually some bullshit, but even
but nothing here.
But they're so baseless on this occasion. They've got nothing. They've got a nobody, because they usually get like a Candace Owens or someone vaguely known. This dude,
stature,
no idea who he is, talking shit based on nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Also, I've just noticed, poorly edited, the little white bar at the top.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Don't know, man. Prager, you're slipping.
Frame. Yeah, just zoom that up a little bit. Come on, sloppy.
Yeah, indeed.
That's the question. What is fascism?
Oh, is graphics.
Oh, was it a thing? Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Apologies to the graphics team at PragerU. I mean, also, you should be ashamed of yourself. You disgust me. But
for taking their money, definitely.
Yeah, but fair play. They are good at taking the money and doing the job. If you want absolutely amoral pieces of shit, contact PragerU and their department. I don't know.
While most Americans associate fascism with
White.
Nazi Germany or modern dictatorial states like Venezuela, China, and North Korea,
There we go.
What?
They managed to fix a fucking vuvuzela in there. Oh, fucking Christ almighty. So,
Here's
just accusing people randomly of fascism is bad, but vuvuzela,
wait.
fascism.
Yes. Wait, is China communist, a communist threat or a fascist threat? Because PragerU doesn't seem to be able to make up their minds.
Yeah, I don't care anymore. They're just so full of shit. So North Korea is both communist and fascist.
Yes.
China is both communist and fascist. Vuvuzela, communist and fascist. It's almost, stick with me here, it's almost like PragerU purposefully obfuscate the meaning of words so as to make them so flexible they can use them against anyone in any setting.
Yes. In order to drum up fear, hatred, and othering of their fellow Americans by proxy.
Indeed.
to Antifa, fascism means Judeo-Christian values and capitalism.
You do realise, like, most Antifa people are... They might not be, like, devoutly, like, crazy religious, but...
Kevin, remind me where and how Antifa started.
It started when Judeo-Christian priests, which are a thing, decided to go after the atheoids, and the atheoids went, Antifa, let's do that. That's how that started.
But wasn't there also a large Jewish contingent in Nazi Germany fighting against, I don't know, fascism?
Very significant Jewish section within Antifa, within the reaction to the rise of fascism in the early to mid 20th century. Yes, that is.
You mean
that is a thing.
Yeah, the people who are actually like devoutly believers in that book.
Yes, people who were both
at the time.
Both the Judeo and the Christian part of that made up almost everyone in the early Antifas.
Yeah, and were they probably, given their where they lived, capitalists at the time? Shop owners and working with the capitalist community.
Yes and no. I mean, you've got two issues. Firstly, there were anti-capitalist amongst them, but also when you say engaging with shop owners and stuff, that brings up a more vexed question of, if in a capitalist society no one is purely not capitalist because you're forced to engage with that system or starve.
Yes.
So does that make one a capitalist?
Well, insofar as I'm thinking where the Jewish businesses were targeted, in particular symbols.
Yeah.
So there might have been some anti-fascists who were created out of the experience of being targeted by fascism, who had previously participated in capitalism.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And someone points out there, Watson87 says the Battle of Cable Street, which is a prime example of anti-fascism and the Jewish community, many of whom would have been capitalists, standing side by side, arm in arm, against the fascists of Oswald Mosley. Or as Danny Dyer once described him, the slag. Literally. I'm finding that again. Hang on, we'll get that out.
All right. So my point is that PragerU is talking shit.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we're just another observation that conforms to the overall pattern.
Yeah, here we go.
My East End's full of love, but it sounds like young Harold lived with hate. Everybody down here knows about the Cable Street riot in 1936, when Oswald Mosley and his black shirts, not a boy band, but a bunch of fascist slags, came goose-stepping down the street. So here he is, look. Right. Oswald Mosley, the Melt. So this is a big Asian community now, but back in the day it was a very Jewish...
The Melt.
You wanna? Can you translate that into
the melt? Melt being a phrase for someone being a stupid kind of obnoxious prick. You melt.
Us EastEnders, we won't stand for terrorism, so everybody came together and they gave the Nazis a good kicking. And then the old Bill turned up and gave everyone else a good kicking. Feel like I'm banged up. Yeah.
Bunch of fascist slags. Can I get some S's in chat for slags, please? Because that is the most cockney thing you'll ever see.
That is, yeah.
Fucking hell. Anyway, so yeah, Jewish people, anti-fascists mingled, and there was a huge crossover. So yeah, the idea that they're against Judeo-Christian values is nonsense.
Laughable.
Globo,
Oh.
homo, globo, homo, globo, homo.
Yes. Thank you to Dundalk's Only, who gifted a tier 1 sub to What's in 87. I think appropriately, given that they had they reminded me of Cable Street, which reminded me of Danny Dyer. So those laughs go to What's in 87, and they get a subscription for it. So thank you all round to everyone.
Nice.
Yeah.
As an Antifa group said on its Twitter account in 2018, the fight against fascism is only won when the capitalist system is smashed. And they mean...
Also, can I just go back, right? They've got it as at Antifa. That's not a thing.
Can we look?
Oh, do you want to actually look? Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, let's fact check this.
Okay.
Who has at Antifa?
It's called Antifa DB. And they have never tweeted. So that isn't a thing. That's not a thing. That's
busted.
Not, yeah.
Busted. Oh, we should write that in the chat. I looked up at Antifa. You're full of shit, Prager. You.
Yeah. I looked up at Antifa, and they have never tweeted. Oh. You bunch of fascist slags. There we go.
Okay. Just take off the extra fascist slags or fascist slags.
Well, they are the slags of fascists as well, but that's, yeah. Thank you.
True.
There we go. There we go. So that's good stuff. Anyway, let's go back to this melt.
Fascism is only won when the capitalist system is smashed. And they mean smashed. Breaking windows, tearing down statues, throwing Molotov cocktails, looting and burning businesses, and harassing and physically assaulting people.
Oh, they sound like the police. Hey-o.
Yeah, you're not going to talk anything about the context of those situations. Oh, no, because you see, that would actually like put some onus on white people, and we can't have that.
No, that would be very bad.
Yeah, because white leftists aren't really like white in their eyes, you know? Like they're traitors. They're race traitors.
They're not real whites, no.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
White in name only. They're winos.
They're winos.
You're a wino, Kev. I'm a wino.
I am a wino, that is true. Although, I think that's the one occasion upon which I could say you were being offensive against my one marginalised status as a recovered alcoholic. So,
although
you're out of order.
I'm spelling it completely differently.
Doesn't matter, Kristi. Offensive.
It all sounds the same.
Look, so it's okay if I give it a soft A N-word, is it? I'm spelling it different. It's fine.
I don't know what you want me to do with this. I got nothing.
I don't either.
Okay.
To be honest with you, we're going down a dead end here.
Yeah. I think it's time to hit the play video, or play the video again.
Yeah.
We saw it all in the summer of 2020 in Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis, and other cities. Antifa is not solely responsible for all left-wing political violence.
Wait.
Not.
It's now 2021.
Yeah.
So if this is such a bad problem, why is it stopped? Why are you going on about it like it's almost a year later now, and there's been nothing? Oh wait, you're fear-mongering.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he says, they're not responsible for all left-wing violence. So they're going to talk about left-wing violence, but not about right-wing violence. No, that would be...
Oh, no. That, the actual threat? No, because that involves talking about white people.
Indeed.
You know, on the right.
Not every attack by left-wing radicals is an Antifa attack. But Antifa exemplifies the worst of this dangerous ideology which is becoming bolder and more prevalent in American society.
But wait, you had to go back to last summer to cite any examples, and you took out all the context.
Yeah. Whereas we can point to actual right-wing terrorism that's happening like, all the time. Literally, motherfucker was arrested outside Kamala Harris's house with a gun.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know if I have it bookmarked, but...
well, this latest, just this murder was a racist attack.
Indeed.
On these women and the people.
Yeah, man wanted by police, arrested near residence of Vice President Kamala Harris with gun and ammunition found in car. Yep.
Well, yeah.
Didn't even make the news.
Tell you about this.
Didn't even. Well,
Not
so
really.
it didn't make the news. It made the CNBC, so that's the news. But it wasn't like prominent.
No. I'm on Twitter a lot, and I hadn't heard about it. And I follow a lot of people who like her.
Yep. Yep. Just outside his house. Yeah. So.
Oh no!
What?
Did you see what the headline was? Go back. Can you reopen that tab?
Okay. What's this?
Look at the story on the right-hand column about Marjorie Taylor-Greene.
Twitter says it suspended Marjorie Taylor-Greene's account in error. Oh, very, very bad.
Yeah.
Bad Twitter. Twitter said Friday it mistakenly suspended the account of Republican... Social media giant has previously suspended the conspiracy-embracing lawmaker's account, said the most recent lockout had been lifted. Oh, that is super annoying. Dickhead.
Yep. She should. Yeah. She called for violence against Democrats. Yep,
oh yeah, she's trash.
Twitter.
She's trash.
Yeah.
Oh well, Twitter are garbage.
Well, at least we got to that and did the whole bit and not know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So that's good.
Also, if that happened before my intro, ruined it. Which is the biggest crime of all, really.
Yes,
think about
that's yes.
Being marginally inconvenient for my stylistic humour. Ridiculous.
It was the worst decision of my life. How did I get out of it? Like anyone who gets out of something bad, I encountered something good. The very system that I had sought to destroy. Friends.
What?
People who turned out to be...
Friends? You sought to destroy the concept of friendship.
I wonder, wow, you've got a lot to learn, bub. You don't know anything about Antifa.
No.
I think all of this happened like over a weekend in his head.
Very strange. Anyway, let's go back to his non-destroyed friends. One of whom appears to have a horn. Okay.
Be my real friends pointed me to challenging thinkers like Milton Friedman, Thomas Sowell, and Ben Shapiro.
Firstly, can I get some lols in chat for the idea of Ben Shapiro being a challenging thinker? Secondly, that's funny in of itself. But also, you know how they're going on about how it's the Antifas that are the fascisms?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to point out, Milton Friedman was literally employed by Augusto Pinochet, the former fascist dictator of Chile, to neoliberalize their economic affairs in Chile, which led to a huge downward spiral for the poor, by the way. So literally, a man who was the economist of a fascist.
Can I use it? Because I haven't read any of these writers. So let me just review. Milton Friedman is an economist, right?
He is.
Right. Thomas Sowell writes also on economic issues dealing with the black family or something.
Yeah, he's written about various things, but yeah, I think he's more described as a philosopher, I think. But yeah.
But what's his basic critique?
Well, his basic critique is that the not social security, what's it called? The welfare state has crippled the black family.
Okay, so another economic critique.
Yeah.
And then the third is a twat.
The third is a wet-ass P-word, P-word being female genitals, yes.
So really the first two are definitely not are not in any way a response to anti-fascism.
Yeah.
And the third one is just a guy who is mocked and is pretty idiotic. So nothing in here would have actually convinced him unless he didn't know what anti-fascism actually was.
Indeed.
So again,
yeah.
PragerU are just putting, I'm sure that he's saying the words. I somehow don't get the feeling he wrote the script.
Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, it's the same way that Carly or Dr. No Fly List B, changed her story for her PragerU appearance.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And Friedman wasn't an idiot. I would not. That was not a critique I would make of the man. I think he was very smart, but he did work for a fascist. So I mean, the idea that this turned him away from fascism.
Yes.
I'm not sure that
Little
works.
Sus.
Yeah.
Little sus.
Anyway, so yeah, there's that.
Oh, I really want to watch Ben Shapiro sing "Wet Ass Pussy."
Ben Shapiro, as someone pointed out, is Ben Shapiro was it a challenging thinker or thinking challenged? True.
He did hard.
And eventually, organizations like the Leadership Institute and PragerU, what they said just made sense and offered me a better way to live. Antifa and the radical left.
Yeah, because they paid you lots of money. Yeah, that's true. And to be honest, the wages, and as the CEO I can confirm this, the wages of Antifa are not high. We don't pay well. Whereas PragerU do pay well, but you can't sleep at night. So
yes. So a trade-off there.
Yeah.
A nice bed, can't sleep in it.
Yeah.
Did not care about building a better society. They cared about control.
Unlike conservatives don't care about control or power or anything. No.
That's why they want to, criminalize abortion, which is a legal medical procedure.
Yeah.
They don't want to control people's lives.
Yeah.
They
could only offer me more anger, bitterness, and unhappiness.
And pussy!
I mean, probably, if I'm honest. Way more than the PragerU crowd.
Oh, yeah. Way more.
I don't know. There's probably some pretty thirsty cute cougars in there.
Probably.
Of any gender.
Yeah.
Just as a concept of.
Some very dry-ass pussy, yes.
I always expected to keep my past a secret. But as I saw cities around the country struggling against the rise of left-wing political violence...
What are they talking about? Cities.
The entire cities. You know, Cleveland, the city, doesn't exist anymore. The left stole it. It's not even there
it's
anymore.
Just gone.
Yeah. Shame. Can I get some RIPs? Can I get some RIPs in chat for Cleveland, Ohio? Ohio? It is Ohio, isn't it? Yes.
All right. So Portland is obviously
it was.
Portland is Portland. There was an incident in Kenosha after a man was shot by police for having a thing that most people who hunt in Wisconsin probably have in their cars, in his car. A man was murdered in Minneapolis. There were some reactions to that. I'm just trying to think of the other cities. Maybe Atlanta? What was Breonna Taylor?
Yeah, Atlanta. A Wendy's got burnt down, and I don't think Atlanta can ever recover. I think it's done as a city now. The left have burnt down a Wendy's, and therefore it's over. Basically.
I mean, you throw Seattle on there, and I'm struggling to get off of one hand,
They shouldn't be sitting on one hand.
I'm on 4. How do I get to 6?
You've got 4 hands. The fuck is wrong with you?
Yes, when I'm off air, I'm like one of those Tibetan statues of an enlightened Buddha.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going Ganesh. But that works as well. That works as well. Anyway. Misunderstanding of Eastern religions. Tick. Good.
While left-wing and even liberal politicians said nothing, I knew I had to speak up.
Said nothing.
And people like me
who know said absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like Al Sharpton was out there talking about how it's, you're angry, but this doesn't help. And you're frustrated, but these kinds of things are actually going to make it more difficult to get what we want. Oh, wait, it was because you weren't paying attention, or it's because your white ghostwriter didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Oh, that must be it.
Well, if you're going to be a ghost, you have to be white, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's how that works. Yeah.
Know what is really behind Antifa? Don't. The left will obliterate.
What I love here is, right, I know they're going with, they're fascist, greedy, blah, blah, blah. But I like the fact that someone turned up with just the phrase greedy on a placard.
Also, just walking around with power structure.
Yeah, power structure, exactly. But, greedy, are you protesting greedy or are you protesting for greedy?
Yeah, I could go either way
need
here.
more.
I mean, they are under an American flag.
I need more context with my signage at rallies. Okay. Again, heartless. Are you pro or anti-heartless?
A tiny monkey army couldn't hold me back.
The dulcet tones of Logan. Bilderberg says, they're all Mr. Men.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Thank you. Thank you for bits.
Mr. Lanky, Miss High Pants.
Yeah. Look at that. That is... whoa.
Very, 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 very cringe.
It is.
It's very cringe.
Very, very cringe.
Thank you. Lord Fruitus with $3 says, we ought to speak against them Antifa super soldiers trying to stifle free speech for good and standing up for citizens. What? What is this nonsense now? Richard Spencer, white nationalism, something. White nationalism remixed. I don't know if that's going to get played. Sorry.
It means to be a free American. So here I am. And here's my message. Young people don't drift to the left because they believe the left is superior. Most do because they have never been exposed to anything else.
What?
Yeah, that's definitely...
What?
In the West, there's no right-wing media at all.
Yeah, in America, they haven't been indoctrinated into this sort of like white supremacist, whitewashed version of American history. No, that's never happened.
Never happened. No. For the curious. What's this? Richard Spencer, white nationalism.
Oh, Louisville, not Atlanta for Breonna Taylor. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure I can play the punch thing. Apologies.
Yeah, that did get taken down, didn't it?
I don't know. Some of them have in the past. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah.
Leftism has become what Andrew Breitbart once described as the default position.
So the one quote they've got in this fucking video is Andrew Breitbart saying the words, the default position. That could be about anything. That could be about missionary. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that is ridiculous. The idea that the left is the default position in America when you look at who controls everything.
Everything. Fucking everything. God damn it all.
The American idea is more powerful than you think. It turned me around. It can turn others around too. The core of that idea, call it the American dream.
Oh, you basic bitch. What the fuck are you doing? The American dream. Suck my dick.
What saved me from wanting to protect American democracy and the freedoms I enjoy as Americans is opposing Antifa that are doing the same thing. Wait, what? What freed me from anti-fascism is the exact same thing that anti-fascists are fighting to protect.
True.
Oh, wait. They were talking about the American dream for white people, for like boomers. Okay.
It's pronounced white people, please.
White people.
Outrageous. Anyway, so, yeah.
It's not about money. It's about freedom. That.
Fuck off.
This is the indoctrination. This is the indoctrination. See, you're free to be poor, Kevin. It's not about money, you class warrior.
I've always enjoyed poverty. Yeah. It's been,
you can eat freedom of speech, Kevin. It's sustained lots of poor people for generations now.
You can feed your children the right to vote unless you happen to be black or poor.
Right.
Yeah.
Or a student. Or Or.
Exactly. But if you're white and middle class, you're sorted. Yeah.
Ultimately, is
I'm sorry, like the Republicans spend all of their efforts passing tax cuts and trying to pass laws making it criminalized for people to exercise medical autonomy and say things and be who they really are in their daily lives. But, freedom.
Yeah. Also, why is this man's right shoulder on fire? Very strange.
I think someone lit a fart behind him.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, make sure if you flick cigarettes, make sure they're out, please.
Yes, you don't want to accidentally time it and then light a fart on fire.
Can we be more considerate of those in the flammable shoulder community, please?
Or ass.
Or ass, definitely. Oh, that's everyone, though, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Well, that's why you have to be very courteous.
Exactly.
has to resort to violence.
He still is. I thought they was going to reveal a different... His shoulder's just on fire.
It went up with it, moved with him.
Yeah, exactly. It's yeah, his shoulders are... That's canon now. Antifa man's shoulders on fire.
Go back, you can watch it move with him.
Yeah.
As if conservatives are allowed to speak freely, they will peacefully convert more and more of Antifa supporters towards the values of liberty. And then Antifa will vanish like the nightmare it is.
This is like a fever dream. This is a Dennis Prager fever dream.
They've lost the plot.
I don't even know what that was. He turns and it flips round and it's got the most multiracial group of people that conservatives could only dream of. Like, what the fuck is going on here? This is just madness.
Oh, if only we can push more American propaganda and silence leftists, everyone will become just like me.
Yeah. Also, conservatives, yeah, they're definitely converting lots of people with their fantastic arguments.
Oh my god, it's so ridiculous.
From their great thinky boys like Ben Shabibo.
I'm Gabriel Nadales, the student rights advocate for the Leadership Institute and author of Behind the Black Mask, My Time as an Antifa Activist for Prager University.
Eat my ass.
Let's look up this Leadership Institute, can we?
The Leadership Institute.
Well, it'll be in, if you go down, no. I think it goes to...
If you go down, on her birthday, definitely. Where are we? Prager U...
Oh, does he not? Come on. How can you not have the Institute he just said? Oh, there it is. Okay.
No, that's for complete script.
All right.
Anyway, Leadership Institute, let's have a look.
What was something like the Student Leadership Institute or something like that? That's why I wanted you to go back and listen to it.
Shut up.
Why would you make things easy?
Exactly. Oh, okay, we'll go back and listen.
No, well, there were results, so might as well check them out.
Yeah, but they could be anything. Right.
Student rights advocate for the Leadership Institute and author...
No, it's just the Leadership Institute.
Oh, it is? Yeah. Okay.
See, don't correct me, woman. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Someone's gotta.
Ew. Oh, go away. Right. The Leadership Institute.
I just thought training conservative activists.
Yeah. You owe it to your philosophy to study how to win. Morton C. Blackwell.
Oh, let's look around. Oh, fucking Dan Crenshaw. Of course. Let's look at that piece of shit. All right, can I just say a little thing? I've got indirect beef with Dan Crenshaw.
Indirect beef. Okay.
Right. So he posted a tweet having a moan about the fact that, this is where the Kennedy books came up. That one of the books on anti-racism, the 2 books on anti-racism on a suggested reading list for the military. And I pointed out about the fact that we have had a problem historically with white supremacy, and it's up to us to understand it and confront it and get rid of it. And his stands are some of the most brainless derps I've ever encountered. Most of them would say, you're an idiot, and spell Y-O-U-R.
Okay, right.
I got a couple of those. And then just, why don't you move? I mean, like Neanderthals. Like, that's an insult to Neanderthals. These, like, knuckle-dragging, gormless...
Yes.
Melts.
Absolute fucking melts. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, look. Oh, a 60-page guide to grassroots campaigning.
We'll get to... Kristi, calm down. You look like a kid in a sweet shop. Just wait. Navy SEAL veteran and Congressman Dan Crenshaw, who looks like a pirate, I'm just going to put that out there. And that's not... I mean, I don't think it's ableist when you deserve to lose the eye. I think that's fair, to be honest.
Oof.
Hot take. Spicy take.
Yes, Tony. They are cockwombles.
Indeed. Quote, I didn't take just 1 or 2 Leadership Institute courses. I took 7. Weird flex, bro. Weird flex.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Leadership Institute that made it possible for me to learn how to run a campaign, how to craft my message, how to speak effectively in public, and how to handle the media. Above all, I learned how to win.
I also picked a really conservative district in Texas to run in.
The most gerrymandered bullshit you've ever seen in your life. Yeah. Should we learn more from Dan Crenshaw?
Oh, but I want to get to the guide. All right.
Train more conservative,
How much does it cost?
You can create America's conservative leaders right now. The leadership, by the way, this is awfully designed. The Leadership Institute is America's #1 training organisation for conservatives. Leadership, bloody blah.
Yeah, how are old people supposed to read this tiny, tiny font?
Your donation will equip conservative. Here we go. Here's the grift.
Mm-hmm.
You can give $1,000. But if you give $1,000, do you get a fucking idiot singing Globo, Globo Home?
I don't think so.
The Leadership Institute is the training ground for Americans' conservative leaders.
According to whom?
Dan Crenshaw, probably.
Apparently.
I don't know. Anyway, so there's a 60... Claim you're free. Should we send off for one?
Oh, please, let's.
Free 60-page guide to grassroots campaigning. A nearly unlimited number of books are available. How is it remotely nearly unlimited? Do you know what unlimited means? About personal topics, most teach you how to take the right positions on issues, frame the debate, or understand political theory, but few teach candidates how to win.
What?
Yeah.
There are a nearly unlimited number of books available about political topics.
Yeah. Hear the story of Congressman Alex Mooney, who knocked on more than 10,000 doors and beat an entrenched incumbent. You'll learn exactly how he did it alone with bonus interviews from grassroots leaders. Okay, my password. Okay, that's not a thing. Latest news. Creating powerful passwords.
These look like ads.
Is that a news?
No.
Well, it's because it has latest news, literally.
I think they just sell ads there.
Do they?
Oh my God, no, it's actually part of the Leadership Institute.
Creating powerful password. Oh, this is embarrassing.
Look at that font size. It's so tiny. They haven't done any. So the latest news is from March of 2021.
Tech trends. One amazing tool to help you work more efficiently within and across Google. This is
click on that one. Is that an ad for Google?
Fucking weird, man. And one effective. Well, it's still on their website, so it doesn't go. Google's quick access site.
Who the fuck is Emisu?
You can learn for the. Well, there is a link to a Google blog, so that might be. Yeah, that might be a Google ad. That one. But I mean, that's poor. Shall we send off first? So should we enter an email? I'll enter my email.
Okay, I can't enter mine because I'm not on the screen.
You're not.
Hotmail? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, look at the year as well. That's when I set that motherfucker up. That email is older than some of the people watching this shit.
I didn't even know Hotmail was still a thing.
Well, it's not. It's called Outlook Mail, but because it's still got Hotmail in the thing.
Okay, right. Yes, that was the address.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
We'll submit that.
Now you're going to get all kinds of bullshit spam.
Yeah, 60-page grassroots first name.
Oh, you're going to have to take this off screen. You can't put your zip code. Oh, you can. We'll just pull some bullshit. We'll put a bullshit New York zip code in.
So
okay.
My first name is.
Devon.
Devon. My surname is Nunez.
Cow?
Nunez is.
Cow.
My zip code is
12345.
BJ.
No, it won't take it.
420. Oh, okay.
No, they won't take it. They won't take letters.
Go on then. So what's the zip?
69696.
69696. I am not a robot. That is true. Sign up.
Devin Nunes' cow. When you get those emails, you have to show them.
Hello, this parallel universe is full of mystery and... What?
I guess you...
I can't go back to the... I don't know. Anyway. Okay, well, off screen, what I'll do is I'll check to see if it's like an automatic thing that goes through.
Okay. But yes, Devin Nunes' cow. I want to see that addressed.
Someone says a suggestion of Arnold Wanker as a name. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that enormously. Come on, Outlook Mail, you dickhead. Right, there we go. Come on. What? That's not a real name. That's not a real name of a person.
It's there.
No, but look at the name of the person who sent it.
Well, you moved it, so now I can't see it.
No.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, Wade Cox.
The person's name is Carol Weehee Cox. But not spelled C-O-X. C-O-C-K-S.
It does say that.
I'm going to have to show everyone. There's no incriminating evidence there, is there, of my weird porn or whatever?
No, I'm not going to say anything.
Full screen. Look, it's literally been sent by a person called Carol Weehee Cox. Unbelievable.
Devon, here is your copy.
Devon. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Literally, someone called Devon, Director of External Affairs. Well, you don't want to get in your cocks as an external affair in public. That is outrageous.
No, you want it to be an internal affair.
Very much so, yes. Here is a link to the copy of the 60-page guide to grassroots campaigns from Morton Blackwell and the Leadership Institute. Okay, well, let's have a look. Hang on, we can go back to main window now. Yeah, so there we go. Thank you, Miss Cox. Anyway, it's loading. It's taking forever. Come on.
Well, it is 60 pages.
And I am streaming, to be fair. But
true.
Even so. Is anyone still watching this? This is just me and Kristi being geeks. It's actually 67 pages. Holy moly. Door-to-door campaigning. Everything you need to know about politics, blah, 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 blah.
And let's see the table of contents.
The leadership, of course, is a 501c3, naturally.
Yeah, it's washing money.
Money laundering for Conservatives.
Oh, you went past the table of contents.
Oh, okay. So we've got before you knock, spending your money, honing your skills, handling the negative, handling the tough questions, which seems okay.
Oh, let's go check that one out.
Maximise your time. Volunteers and family doing doors. Okay. Lessons from other candidates, independent or unaffiliated voters. Swing households. Manage to get out the vote when good things happen. Okay, so which one did you want to do?
All right. Well, I guess they have spending your money, but this doesn't accurately reflect what politicians do during a campaign, which I know of because I've been on campaigns and I've been the fundraiser on campaigns. Politicians spend half their time on the phone asking for money. That's what they do. Like, even more than half their time sometimes.
Yeah.
I wanted to do handling the tough questions, page 29.
Okay, hang on. It went down to 28.
Talking with negative conservatives. Oh, maybe go back up because he was handling the negative. So let's see how they handle it. I'm sure there's handling negative liberals too.
Yeah. Sometimes you will encounter negativity from your own side. Since I was only 27 and looked 22 during my first campaign for the state senate, many voters thought I was too young. One elderly woman on the door I knocked during the primary told me that I had my standard response ready. I will put my youth and energy to work for you. The other one might have been fun. Then I changed the topic. Oh, so you don't answer it then? Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
What issue is most important to you? The issue to me is that you're too young, she replied. I cut my losses and moved on. So you didn't sort the situation out at all?
No.
That's not an answer then. Oh, end me. I'm going to have a look through that. I'll send that to Kristi. I think she might enjoy that too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was a whole thing.
Rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we move on from this prick to, should we do some Racist History Month?
Yes, and then I need to get my stuff ready for that and share my screen. So I can do that.
Kristi's still talking through the thing that's happening right now on the screen.
Now you're doing it.
Yeah. Some people. There's Winnie, you fat prick. Yep, it's a Racist White People Month thing with me and Kristi. And is Kristi doing a thing? She's doing a thing, so I need to actually go onto the full screen thing. And
yes. See, when you said that, my eyes moved to start setting up. So I couldn't see what you were doing. I didn't realize you put on the Racist.
Well, I put on the thing. When I say, should we do a thing, and you say yes, I instantly click on the thing, because that's the intro.
You should tell me then. Because I can't always see what you're doing, Kevin.
So you see, this is why I can't stand white people.
Yeah, I can't read your mind. All right. We're going to speak today about the Naturalization Act of 1790 and all the racist white men in this case who, yeah, it's fine. Sorry, Google was like trying to be helpful, and it was just interrupting me. We're going to talk about what Congress did with the power it was given, and also some context about citizenship and voting in persons in the states. But before we talk about the actual events, because 1790 might feel like a very long time ago. However, when as a political scientist, we have a sort of a specialty within political science that looks at not just like people and voting and stuff and how members of Congress vote, but actually just institutions themselves. Like, what are the practices of institutions and how do they change over time, if they change at all? If they do change, what causes change? Can we find patterns in the things that do successfully cause change and which don't? And so in one way that probably Kevin would also be familiar with this, that people have tried to explain events is through this concept of path dependence. And it's a pretty simple concept. Doesn't sound like a theory, but actually, because we're talking about human calculations, it is a theory. Path dependency, I think in its most basic and pure and easy to understand form, was described by William Sewell as simply the idea that prior historical events in a sequence have an impact on future events. So the decisions that were made at one point in time can affect decisions that get made later on. A classic example of path dependency is the QWERTY keyboard system. Right? This idea is used in economics. It might have come from economics, but it also applies to institutions. But when we look at it from an example, a practical economic example, like the QWERTY keyboard system, the alphabets were set up in order to slow people's hands down, because otherwise if two typewriter phalanges, I don't know what they're called, come flying forward and they get stuck, you'd have to pull them out. And so as a consequence, by setting up the keys in the QWERTY system, it slowed people's typing down. Now, once that was established, other people copied it because people who learned on the QWERTY system didn't want to learn a new system. And as a consequence, all keyboards now, if you're an English speaker, or actually like more than just English, are set up in the QWERTY system. We're stuck with it because we all learned it. And it's going to take us more effort to fix it and change to something. And what would we even change it to? And how do we agree? And just leave it. Okay, so that's an example of path dependence. And in legislation, I want to point out how racism has been our default position in the United States. And we have always been there have been people in this country who have been pushing us toward change, but that change is in some way difficult because so many, not only of the practices, but the attitudes around them are path dependent. So Congress, as you might remember or not from your history classes, the Constitution was ratified in 1789. So we had the Articles of Confederation, and under the Articles of Confederation and before the Articles, citizenship was based on the states, and the states controlled who could vote and who could be a citizen. And at that time, these two ideas were separated. You could be a non-citizen and still vote because they were just like two different, like there were some free Black people who were persons, but maybe not citizens, but they could still vote in elections. And there was a lot of mishmash, shall we say. But once we had the federal Congress, the right to decide citizenship was a federal power. And although race itself is not mentioned in the Constitution, enslaved people, referred to as bonded people, and also Native Americans and indentured servants, I think, are mentioned not as citizens, but in the case of bonded and enslaved or indentured people, as property. The Fugitive Slave Clause in the Constitution specifies that those people can be returned to their states because they weren't persons, they were property. So that is how the starting assumptions were when they went in to decide citizenship. And when Congress finally got the power to control or deem who is and who wasn't a citizen, what they passed was the Naturalization Act of 1790. It was the first uniform rules for the granting of citizenship by naturalization, and it was limited to free white persons of good character, meaning you needed to not have a criminal record. So legally, the only people who could be, well, white women who were single and widows were citizens, but if they were married, their citizenship was tied to their husband's citizenship, and it was like that until the 1900s. It was a leftover from, well, they also viewed women as property, like other people as well. But it explicitly excluded Native Americans, indentured servants, enslaved people, free blacks, and later Asians. Although it notes here that some free blacks were allowed citizenship at the state level at some states. So I got a short little video clip, and I feel a sneeze coming on, so pardon me if I sneeze at some point. Here it goes. Okay. Sorry. To explain a little bit more about...
Can I get some bless yous in chat, please?
BUs.
Let's be gentlemanly about it.
Practice your German spelling and get me some Gesundheits in the chat.
No, we're not encouraging foreignness.
Who explains how white
Which is
supremacy,
ironic, given the Naturalization Act. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and we've been working at chipping it away at who is a citizenship or who is a citizen, and that process was still taking place in the mid 1900s, and it's still, and I think in values, still going on today. But here.
Also, I see a lot of D&D in your suggested videos. Disgraceful. Yeah.
Yes, there are several. I could probably make the screen a little bigger. There we go. No, it just makes this page bigger. All right.
One of the...
Is that... Oh, I think I need to turn up the sound a bit. Okay.
The interesting things about the first naturalization law, it was really the first time that Congress sat down in 1790 to figure out who can come and who can be a fully participating citizen. And the clause that was written into that law, which was on the books for over 160 years, was free white persons. Now, one of the interesting things about that debate, when you go back and look at the records, is how little it was questioned, how natural it seemed to them that whiteness should be one of the prerequisites for citizenship, because they argued about whether Catholics could, they argued about whether former nobles from Europe could, they argued about various statuses of freedom and unfreedom, for example, indenture. They argued about a million things, but never once was it questioned that whiteness would be a prerequisite. And
it's still not.
Yeah.
That is Stephen Miller.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah.
So I'm just linking the past to how we have carried this mental baggage generation from generation into the 21st century.
Absolutely.
My own feeling is that if they had foreseen who was going to come in under the clause free white persons, they would have modified it or refined their thinking a bit, because it's clear that they were not envisioning millions of people from Ireland. They were not envisioning millions of people from Eastern Europe. But the clause itself was elastic enough and loose enough that's ultimately who came over the next 4 or 5 generations. But at the time, the thing that was really on their mind, and the reason that whiteness was such an unquestioned prerequisite, and in the way they thought about citizenship, they were thinking more about the distinctions between white and black, and also between European settlers and Native Americans, or the native nations. They were not so much thinking about the variegations of whiteness within Europe. So
they were really focused on establishing white supremacy on the American continent.
Yeah, and they
is
forgot
another
about,
way to say that.
And they forgot that maybe some swarthy Germans and Swedes would come in as well.
Ben Franklin would have been horrified.
Yes, indeed.
White seemed to cover what they were thinking, but what they were thinking was that in a political culture where participation is so broad, certainly compared to the old monarchies, if you're going to take away the authority of the monarch, if you're going to organize a polity on lines of authority and deference that are not as rigid as in the old monarchies, what you need above all is a very moral and wise and far-seeing polity. Not just any old person can come along and participate in a fragile experiment like democracy. That's really what they were thinking. And the phrase, from that point all through the 19th century on into the early 20th, you hear the phrase fitness for self-government. And race ends up being one of the key things that figures in that determination. So what they were presuming was that only white populations, or the white population, would have the attributes necessary to really make this thing work.
Because they were racist and they made sure nobody else could have the attributes.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, like I say, an unchallenged, for centuries, unchallenged notion of the white man as a civilized and everyone else as other.
Yep. Yes. Very much so. Much like Christians see themselves as the chosen people.
And
everyone else is.
And the top-heavy Jews.
Yes.
This bold experiment, and that non-whites would not.
So they were fucking racist. Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, so just a little bit of understanding, like, why are we still having arguments over basic things like voting rights? This is it. I mean, you kind of combine this with the effects of the daughter of the Confederacy and this ongoing perpetuation of white supremacy in the private sphere, in the families, in the home from birth, and then of course also just going all the way up from impoverished economic whites all the way to the top. I mean, it's the one thing that the white people agreed upon was like, we're going to stick together in order to make sure we keep everybody else down. It was not everybody, obviously. There were people who were abolitionists and some civil rights people, but generally the society was fucking racist.
Well, indeed so. And thank you for that. Thank you for that, Kristi. My one is a little bit different. I mentioned on Wednesday that I was going to be taking a look at on Wednesday and today some of the lesser remembered partners in horrific imperialism that should be remembered because of their great, as in large, impact on racism and slavery and all the rest of it. On Wednesday we looked at Belgium, not often looked at as a one of the big kind of imperialist nations, but of course in Congo they killed 10 to 14 million people and enslaved them for generations. Absolutely atrocious shit, so should be remembered. And today we move on to another nation who should be remembered because not only were they the largest slaver in the transatlantic slave trade, but were by far the largest. Any guesses in the chat as to the nation I'm referring to, who took by far, massively so, the largest number of slaves from Africa to the Americas? Any guesses in chat? See if anyone can guess it. They probably will, I imagine. I've probably mentioned it on the channel before, haven't I?
Yeah, we've got a pretty clever chat.
There we go, yeah, straight off. Lovely stuff. I'm, of course, talking about the nation of Portugal. Here are the slave numbers here. And this is strictly speaking about the transatlantic slave trade. So there were other slave trades engaged in by European powers, often in Asia and places like that. But strictly the triangular trade between Europe, Africa and the Americas. Here are the numbers. Britain, obviously remembered, 2.6 million. Understandable. Spain, France, the Netherlands, or Holland as they say. But look at the numbers here. Portugal took 4.65 million. That's nearly twice as much as the nearest competitor. That's fucking enormous. And no one really remembers Portugal that much for it, do they? Certainly not in, the Anglosphere.
Can I see the screen?
Oh, sorry. I thought you already were seeing the screen.
Also, the chat sees a bunny.
There we go.
There you go. Well,
now you can see what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Spain took 1.6, France 1.25, Britain 2.6 million, Portugal 4.65 million slaves.
Damn.
Look at that.
Wow.
Nearly 3 times the number of journeys. And so you end up with this, which was Brazil, which was the only part of the world that Portugal ever actually took any significant land. because they had what was called a trading post empire, where they had places like Goa and various other places in India and across the coasts in Africa, where they would do all their trading, take in stuff, sell stuff, make a lot of money, take that money back. But they never actually really controlled huge amounts of land in any of those places. Brazil was the one exception to that. And of all the slaves transported, again, over a third, 4 million, went to Brazil, which was the Portuguese colonies in South America, the nation we now know as Brazil, which I didn't realise. I'd always wondered about the etymology. It was named after Brazil wood, the type of tree, because at first that was the main...
Didn't know.
Yeah, the main export from Brazil, until they found gold. And then things actually got worse for the slaves.
Yes.
Incredible stuff. Anyway, so I've got a video here. Where are we? Boom.
Slavery.
To tell us a little bit about slavery from Portugal to Brazil. There are some issues with the racial element of this, which we'll get into as we go along, because it's very BBC, this. Very middle-of-the-road bullshit. But I'll...
Very dispassionate conversation.
Yeah, I'll editorialise as we go.
Slavery is an inconvenient history for the Brazilian elite. There is no doubt about that.
Brazil was built on the back of the largest forced migration in history. North America is well known for its slave-owning past, but this South American country received 10 times as many, 4 million Africans.
Yeah. Think about how bad slavery in America has been.
Yeah.
And they took 10 times as many.
The lands that stretched before the Portuguese were larger than Europe. It was a remarkable discovery, equaling that of Columbus only 8 years earlier. The Portuguese eagerly sent the news home to Lisbon. Lisbon, Portugal's capital, was the world's center of exploration. Its streets full of sailors, investors, traders, and adventurers. This new continent seemed to contain little obvious wealth. There were no gold-clad Aztecs or Incas to conquer. The only item of interest was a valuable tree, known in Europe as Brazil wood, which gave the country its new name. But there was nothing to compare with the wealth of Asia. Except for one thing, its land. Portugal sectioned off Brazil's coastline to rich settlers, but they soon ran into a problem. Plantations are highly labor-intensive, and Portugal's own population was too small to send suitable emigrants. The ambitious new settlers turned to slavery. Portugal, like most of Europe, was no stranger to slavery. 1 in 10 of Lisbon's population was a slave, predominantly from northern Africa. So, all along the Brazilian coast, native Indians found themselves being bribed with their first iron tools or forced at gunpoint to become enslaved. Above all, hundreds of thousands of indigenous peoples died from European diseases, smallpox, measles, and the common cold.
They were also killed and worked to death and stuff, but yeah.
They left that part out.
Yeah. Like I say, very BBC.
The nation could see its workforce of hundreds reduced to a handful in a week. In under 100 years, a population of 4 million Indians was halved. So by the year 1600, the Portuguese, requiring an alternative labor force, had turned to Africa. Portugal had recently colonized southwest Africa, including modern Angola.
Transportation of slaves was very much like that. Perhaps 300 or 400 people packed together with only enough space to lie down, without enough air, without enough water, without enough food to survive. Very often, over half of the cargo, as it were lost from these voyages. And so...
Lost is dead, killed, murdered.
Euphemistically, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brazil becomes the great slave-using colony.
What exactly were these slaves being used for? What was the commodity that caused the Portuguese to colonize these lands as quickly as they could? Sugar was Brazilian gold.
People were making fortunes, huge amounts of money, out of the business of sugar.
We often tend to think of slaves just working in the fields, but obviously they worked as carpenters, as builders, and in various other occupations as well. They'd probably work from sunrise to sunset, sometimes 18 or 20 hours a day. It was said that slaves only needed 3 things: bread, cloth, and a stick. In other words, a stick to be beaten with, enough bread to survive, and just a strip of cloth in terms of clothing.
Plantation owners often lived like lords. Their slaves lived less well.
Less well?
Yeah, again, very BBC. Very.
The system was barbarous. Punishments were severe. Being placed in the stocks, being castrated, or execution. Most common by far was whipping.
The accused receives 200 or 300 lashes. The mangled flesh is then cut and pepper and salt applied to the wounds. The tourniquet, hand and neck stocks, thumb screws, manacles, irons, pillories, and many other instruments of punishment are common on our plantations. In some provinces, slaves are exposed for a whole night, tied to a stake over an ant's nest. Burlamak, abolitionist.
One day, someone came to visit him and told him how attractive a female slave's breasts were. To please the visitor, as he was leaving, the Baron handed him the slave's breasts on a tray.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Whereas in the United States, the black population rose steadily, in Brazil, despite a far greater rate of importation, it stayed the same. Life expectancy for new arrivals was a mere 6 or 7 years, and slaves born in Brazil lived, on average, only into their early 20s.
Early 20s.
I think life expectancy in first century Palestine was early 30s.
Yeah.
And that was under Roman occupation.
Yeah, 1600 years earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And who were the settlers? Many were young men, or ambitious gamblers, risking all, who found themselves thrown into a world of wealth, freedom, fornication. Many, too, were criminals or miscreants that Portugal preferred far from home shores. The majority of imported slaves were male. Women were few, children not valued.
Slave women deliberately attempt to abort themselves so that the children inside their bodies will not be made to suffer what they have suffered. Antonil, Jesuit priest.
The need for slaves multiplied enormously when, in the mid-1690s, gold was discovered in the interior. Slaves were sent to the mines to dig, pan, and extract more wealth for their masters. Brazil's increasing prosperity was channeled into new towns and cities. As Portugal's population remained small, continuing to send few immigrants, and other Europeans preferred the cooler climate and Protestant faith of North America, it was Brazil's black slaves that built and serviced this urban colonization.
It was the slaves who ran the city. They were the traders, they were the population, everything. They even managed the city's waste. Tigers were the slaves who carried excrement. The city didn't have sewers, and the excrement was thrown on the beaches.
Prostitutes found easy clients among the white settlers. The Portuguese were far from home and family, and the indigenous Indian women and black slave women were both targets for sexual liaison.
Again, that's rape. What's been described there is rape.
Yes. They're basically covering up the history now. They're rewriting it.
Yeah.
They're not educating people on it.
Yep.
In the early days, Portugal was such a tiny country with only just over 1 million people, and setting out to colonize practically half the world, all converted. It was just crazy what they were trying to do. So their official instructions to people in the early years in Brazil were to breed up as much as they could.
In Brazil, the colonization was essentially male. The Portuguese woman, the family, did not come to Brazil. You can count on one hand the number of European women, in contrast with the number of European men. So, the biological integration of the African woman with the European man was natural. There wasn't...
Natural. Okay.
This ethnic exclusiveness that took place in the United States.
Étnico que aconteceu nos Estados Unidos.
The sharp distinction between white master and black slave began to blur in a country where white men, born either in Portugal or Brazil itself, had little choice but to mix with non-white women.
The Portuguese differ enormously from the British in the whole colonial enterprise. There were different forms of domination, whereas the British, at least towards the end of the 19th century, bitten by what was then called scientific racism, divided people up according to their supposed race and prohibited contact between them and encouraged the development of racial communities. The Portuguese did not do this. I mean, they did to a certain extent, but much less.
The extent...
So they did do it. But and also, it's because there weren't enough white people to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's the difference there.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you said earlier, you couldn't import enough Portuguese, so you're kind of forced to. Like, Brazil's a really messed up place in a number of ways racially, but it is one of the most racially sort of interesting and diverse places on Earth.
Yes, although I have someone in the UK who was married to a Brazilian woman said that in Brazil they'll tell you that they don't have a problem with racism, when they completely have a problem with economic racism and just general racism. And then I met someone from Brazil, and I was talking about things in America, and she's like, well, you know, I'm from Brazil, and we don't really have a problem with racism. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to have this conversation right now, but you really need to look at who's in your economic and political structures and who's not.
Yeah. Also, there's colorism. Whiteness is still held up as the beautiful thing. Yeah. And I mean, you get, again, it's very similar to Western nationalism that seems to actually hate much of what the nation is and want to take it back to some mythical past. Like you have Bolsonaro, obviously the Brazilian president now, who literally said that samba was a disgusting hybrid thing. You think that's one of the biggest Brazilian cultural phenomena. So what exactly do you like about Brazil? Just the white people, I think, maybe. Although, again, you must be borne in mind for white nationalists and stuff, they would not consider Jair Bolsonaro to be white.
Oh, yes.
Because he basically isn't.
I don't know. Do they consider European, Spanish, and Portuguese people white?
Probably not, no. And I did consider that when doing all of this, but I thought, also, I don't really care, fuck them.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they're still Europeans.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes. I mean, I don't think people here don't see them as white. That's the weird thing.
Yeah.
Well, like you wouldn't go to Spain. Yeah.
Racism's weird. Racism is a very weird thing.
Of sexual relations between master and slave led to thousands of mixed-race children.
So again, sexual relations. They're talking about rape.
Rape.
Mass. Forced insemination. Rape.
Some were made heirs. Most were made slaves.
Yeah.
These churches were both built and decorated by slaves. Pointedly, some quietly rebelled by sculpting pregnant angels. Many slaves did not adhere wholly or at all to Catholicism. They fought hard to maintain their traditional beliefs, to follow their own saints. Slave masters could not prevent their workers from keeping this link to an African past. Some owners actually declared it helped to keep their slaves happy and diverted from the monotony of their labors. Music and dance became an inextricable part of a developing Brazilian identity.
One of the outstanding differences between Brazil and the U.S. South is simply the fact that not only more slaves came to Brazil than to the U.S. South, but they continued to come for a longer period of time and later into the 19th century. So that there was a constant renewal of Africans and of African culture to Brazil. It was more reinforced and fresher in the Brazilian experience. And so they brought with them that cultural heritage. And it's ironic that today some of that is better preserved in Brazil than it is in Africa, because change continued to happen in Africa to erode those forms.
Other slaves?
Yeah, so it's bizarre state of affairs where a cultural genocide on both sides of the Atlantic meant that more of African culture survived in Brazil than in Africa.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Expressed their discontent by fleeing. But to where?
Slaves who ran away joined runaway communities called quilombos. And even cities, even the city of Rio de Janeiro was ringed by quilombos established in the forests, in the hills, quite nearby. And some of these became, had a long life that were more or less independent. They were always the object of police attempts to break them up.
Within Brazil itself, larger and larger numbers of slaves were simply abandoning plantations, wrecking the whole system. Plantation owners decided to opt for abolition and hoped they could coerce some slaves to stay on. On the 13th of May, 1888, the Princess Regent Isabel proclaimed the so-called Aurea Law. Brazil became the last major country officially to abolish slavery.
It's true that this was the final Emancipation Act, but of course even after that, those who had formerly been slaves owe nothing, were given no compensation and so on, and so were forced to remain on the land or to exist in other ways. In other words, although they were legally free, they were still bound economically to the land, to the mines or the other occupations they were forced.
The blacks are the ones in prisons, living in the slums, not having jobs. Nowadays, they're not slaves belonging to one master. They are slaves of the system. The executioner has changed. It's much more sophisticated. The whip is almost invisible, but it is still felt.
Following abolition, there was a deliberate policy to draw in white settlers. Italians, Germans, Spaniards.
Including, of course, many ex-Nazis who would flee there.
Yep. They're in Argentina.
As Brazil commemorates its 500th birthday.
Nope. The fuck?
No other country shares its racial mix. The delineation between black and white is blurred, with the overwhelming majority somewhere in the middle. But white remains the color of aspiration, and black the color of a history that some would prefer to forget.
So yeah, that's this a little potted history of the worst forced slave migration.
Yeah.
And genocide, cultural genocide in human history. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Fucking bleak, but I think worth exploring.
Definitely. Definitely.
Anyway, so shall we do some bookmarks?
Well, before we do that, I see that Gipbisar in the chat had a question that I wanted to, it's from a while ago. It's coming from a while back.
Oh, okay.
But asked, when politicians make those calls asking for money, how do they go? Is there an exchange of value? No. So I've said I haven't said on every single fundraising call, but what happens when politicians are kind of cold call fundraising is we have lists of people who gave, because it's all public information, right? So you get lists of people who've donated to other Democrats in the past. And, sometimes people are calling people they know, but that's usually the easy money to get, because you have like a relationship with that person. But if you're like cold calling, and that's where a lot of it comes in, then the call can like depend on, like, if you're calling someone who's an attorney, you might, they might talk about like how they support tort reform, or, something they care about, or let the person bring up issues they care about. But I've never ever heard like, I promise to vote on this bill if you give me $5,000. No, it's generally an attempt to find it, something to motivate that person to get on board with funding your campaign. Because people who give that much money get called all the time. Yeah. So, like a politician calling them, if they have enough money, they expect that. Like they'll make them wait, or they'll tell them to call back another day, and they will. So, yeah, but no, never an exchange of value.
Okay, cool beans. So, bookmarks.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool beans. Right, so this was quite funny. The virtue signalling of the Zoom meeting era has not gone unnoticed by journalists. You'll see in this instance, it's got the picture of the Queen and a Union Jack.
Oh, yeah, the flag.
Yeah.
Is this supposed to be his house?
Well, maybe his office, I'm not sure, but even so.
Okay, if it's his office, they do have pictures of like the president or whatever up in some people's offices.
True, but it's in every single government thing now. I think it's a thing that Johnson has tried to do, or his spin doctors have done. They always have to have the Union Jack there, always, which never used to happen, because you just go, well, we know where they're from. That's fine. Like, we can tell.
It says Westminster. He's got a British accent. Yeah. I think I could figure it out. He's either a journalist or a politician.
Yeah.
Robert Jenrick, thank you. I think your flag is not up to standard size government interview measurements. I think it's just a little bit small, but that's your department, really.
Ooh.
Just a thought.
So, yeah. What a lovely piss take. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that didn't go unnoticed.
I'm sure he'll get fired next.
Probably.
After Nish.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, God. Right, so Jordan Peterson thinks he's finally found a C-16 victim.
Oh, really? After, what, a decade?
I know. So my stance is that I read the law, and I saw what it was to the country. It was inevitable. So, toxic, was it a loaner box? Sorry. So, I went through the article, and actually the article says, Mazzari noted that the father's public sharing of information about the case had exposed this child to degrading and violent public commentary. That's why they were being done. It wasn't because they had, as Jordan's claimed, misgendered anybody. It's nothing to do with that.
It's like Tucker Carlson hearing one thing or hearing something other than what actually was said. Jordan Peterson can't see what's happening because he wants it to be something else so bad.
Yeah. So, but also, why bring attention to the fact that you were wrong about C-16?
Yeah, we'd all moved on.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, we were more like still focusing on your all meat diet.
Yeah. Fauci and Rand Paul had a thing.
Yeah.
It was a bit boring, frankly, but it was. I think Fauci did okay. I quite like this meme. Defend Western culture. Mr. Potato Head has a cock. Fair. I think that's fair.
Very good.
Yeah. James Baldwin. I've fallen in love with James Baldwin. It's a shame he's very dead. Anyway, it's a nice quote. I imagine one of the reasons people cling to their hate so stubbornly is because they sense once hate is gone, they'll be forced to deal with pain.
Yeah.
He was a profound motherfucker.
Yeah.
This is quite nice.
Welcome back to me being really fucking mad in my car. And I can't guarantee there's not gonna be screaming because I'm pissed. One of my best friends posted a TikTok about her sexual assault experience. And the comments on that video fucking disgusted me. Most of them were fucking men invalidating the way she was feeling. Telling her she's the type of girl that would say catcalling is sexual harassment. Newsflash, it fucking is! It was either that or saying not all men. Literally suck my dick. Last year, 57 people in the world, the entire world, were attacked by a shark. But y'all are still cautious around sharks, are you not? Do you know how many women on average a year are attacked by a man? 3.4 million women a year! So, like, we have every single right to be afraid of men. And by the way, men begging a woman to do something until she says yes is not fucking consent. If she wanted to, she would have said yes first try. Welcome.
Yep.
It's a lot of energy, but I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
Change of pace. What are these four bastards conspiring to do? What's going on here?
That looks like a suspect meeting right there.
I'm not convinced by these fuckers at all.
Can I also just go back to the other point? I got distracted because my battery went low, so I had to plug it in, and I forgot what it is, but I remember now. So after the toads. Okay, go on. Yeah. Yes. People like the distributor in our debate who is saying the best thing people can do is get married to make it. If they want to be happy, people should get married. Or Sargon, saying that, like there should be het couples, right? Yeah. One of the most dangerous situations women find themselves in their lives in the aggregate is in a relationship with a man. So, I know that there is domestic abuse in like heterosexual couples from the woman to the man. However, the vast majority of the problem is men beating on their partners. And you can't advocate marriage as a way to make women happy until women can be safe in their relationships.
Yeah.
All women.
Okay. Did you know platypus babies are called puggles?
I didn't, but it fits perfectly.
And look how cute that little fucker is.
It is puggle cute.
It is puggle
cute. It is
cute.
that cute.
Correct.
Because its little web feet are kind of gross, but that just makes it that much more cute the rest of it over.
The fluffy face thing going on.
Yes.
It's like a little duck. Yeah. Anyway, so that was cute.
Yes, so cute.
Yeah, this I think might be something that sets off a chain reaction of nonsense, right? So we talked in the Captain Baker, who was the Cherokee County fucking prick, who was like, the guy who killed the Asian women, he was having a bad day, The Cherokee Sheriff's Office released a statement saying, Captain Baker had a difficult task before him, and this was one of the hardest of his 28 years in law enforcement. So, they said, of the guy who said he had a bad day, the Cherokee County said he was having a bad day. That's why he said he had a bad day. So, presumably now, the state attorney or whatever is going to have to come out and say, the Cherokee Sheriff's account was having a bad day. And it's going to set off an infractal loop of everyone apologising for everyone else for having a bad day and saying the bad day until we all just die.
Maybe if they take that sensitivity training instead of objecting to it, they wouldn't do these. They wouldn't make people upset like this, because people were reacting to what was said and the way it was said, and their reactions were valid.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Sorry, going back to this, it legitimately looks like a Pokemon. It does. It actually does. Yeah. The Puglamander or something. Yeah.
True.
Anyway. So yeah, police are shit. Moving on. Oh, happy birthday to one of the greatest tweets of all time. Elon Musk, super idiot, from 1 year ago to this very day. Based on current trends, probably close to 0 cases in the US, too, by the end of April.
Yeah.
Nearly 600,000 deaths later. Thanks, Elon!
Anytime he ever tries to criticize anyone again ever, just tweet this at him.
Fucking moron. And we've talked about this bitch before. The hair. Yeah. What's going on with this woman's fucking hair? Why is this nonsense?
Someone did a TikTok pretending to be her hairdresser, and it was so funny. And I wanted to show it, and I thought
this atrocity.
That's called an updo, and it's what you wear to prom.
That is atrocious. That is a human rights violation.
That is an updo.
Ugh.
Fight me. It is.
Ugh. Anyway, new poll reveals 69% of Americans said it was important to prosecute the Capitol rioters. Nice.
For multiple reasons, right?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, the state of Britain. There wasn't actually a protest going on, but there was still police guarding the Churchill statue. What the fuck? Is that they're just going to have a permanent guard there now?
Fucking hell.
Yeah, Britain's a bit
Why?
Bit shit. It's a bit shit. Yeah, just cute cats. Just to soothe me.
Oh, yeah, we need that. Oh, look at... Oh, that looks exactly like a kitten that I had, and a cat later, growing up, and we called him Midnight because he looked like he had a little moon right there on his chest.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's cats happening there. Oh, nice. Did we see the fallout of the Low Society podcast?
Okay, no, I need all the information.
Yeah. So, I suppose we should start with the second picture. This was put out by Angie Speaks, incredibly big-brained, talking about Peter. They used to host the Low Society podcast together.
Oh, okay, right. That was the podcast where sometimes that's where Peter got caught saying something.
They used to have something... like Caleb Moppin was on there, of course, who was cringe, very cringe, and various other awful people. Anyway, so now both. So
they were doing like their own happy hour.
Basically, yes, but as purely as a podcast. I don't think it went out live.
Okay.
So Ashley Coffin has now left. Peter Coffin's been kicked out. So it's anyway. So the statement reads: Peter Coffin has decided to no longer co-host Low Society podcast. Jake and I, that's a partner of Angie, feel it is best for us to move in what we feel is a more positive direction with the show. We are determined to actively disengage from the toxic media cycles that Peter has been caught up in for the last decade, because our primary aim has always been to focus on the joy of creating humorous and informative content. Oof. Oof.
I'm dying.
But also, for the last decade, you only started doing this 2 years ago. So, like, what?
Yeah,
you were okay.
It felt like a decade.
Yeah. But I mean, like, if he's 8 years, so if they are 8 years into a toxic media cycle, what was the last? I don't see why surely you knew all this before. Why is it now, 2 years later, you're like, these last 2 years have been too much?
Well, yes.
I don't know.
Now it's too much.
Yeah. Conflicting modes of operation made it very difficult to retain a healthy professional environment, but we are optimistic about the future of Low Society podcast moving forward and excited to press on with the exciting twice, episodes we have in store. We also appreciate everyone who will remain supportive during this transition period. We wish Peter well. Okay.
Fuck off, Peter.
So Peter then responds, they say this. Quote, unfortunate she did it this way. I was going to post something deferential and recommend everyone keep listening to Low Society. Calling someone toxic for harassment they've received over a decade is not positive. I still wish them the best and hope they're able to make a great pod.
Another bridge burned, Peter.
Yes.
Well done.
Not many people like Peter because...
No, they are consistent.
They are trash. I mean, absolute
They're
trash.
Consistently trash.
Yeah, exactly. So, RIP, can I get some RIPs for the Low Society podcast? This is fucking adorable. This is a man giving some water to a baby squirrel.
More?
It gets even cuter when he pours it into the hand in a second.
Aww.
Hang on.
Aw.
Hang on. Come on. There we go. Boom. Lovely stuff.
Oh my gosh.
You give a squirrel an inch, it takes a mile.
Like, no, I like the petting thing. Keep doing that.
Yeah. So you've defeated the object of pouring the water into the hand.
Yes.
Because he's now just sat with his arse over it. Oh, bless. Oh.
Woo! Little guy. Aw.
Oh, bless.
Oh, you got a friend now.
Yeah. Beautiful.
This is how we get them as humans. Our opposable thumbs. We give really good little massages, and then they just like, oh, no one's ever touched me like that before. Do it again, and we pet them, and then they love us.
Yeah.
And then they hate us, and then they love us again.
Okay, so this is the dumbest thing you'll ever hear. Okay.
Okay. Well, all right. There's a lot of contenders. But...
John Cooper of a Christian rock band called Skillet. That's not even the stupid bit. Right. Skillet. Okay. Mm-hmm. Strongly condemns Cardi B's Grammy performance and likened the ceremony to Hitler's propaganda.
What?
Quote, just stick with it. Quote, if you go back and you read some of Hitler's speeches, that's what happened right on the Grammys. End quote.
Okay. Yeah, contender.
Yeah.
Contender.
I did not short sell that one or oversell it. That's just the dumbest thing. As dumb as calling your band Skillet, I think. That's what you'd expect. That's the level he's pitching himself at with Skillet.
I don't recall Hitler ever saying, hop on top, I want to ride, I do a kegel when it's inside, spit in my mouth, look in my eyes, this pussy is wet, come take a dive. I don't remember that.
You did not clearly read the first draft of Mein Kampf, which was decidedly more sexual than the final. The editors get involved and they take out the bit about the wet ass. What even is a wet ass pussy? I don't even know what that is. This is 1920s Germany. What are you doing, dickhead?
Oh, maybe that explains it. When he was like using his hands and kind of making the chopping motion, he was saying, I want you to park that Big Mac truck right in this little garage.
Yeah, it's true. It was originally going to be Night of the Long Dicks, but a different thing happened in it.
I mean, that needs to go on a top 10 list somewhere, I feel like.
Yeah, that was the good bullshit. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Cute cat.
Oh, I've seen this guy play piano for his cat before. I love it. Do it.
It's a very affectionate cat.
So cuddly.
Baby cats. Talking of which, I don't think I have, no. He's out and about.
That is just... It's such an affectionate little cat.
It is.
A cuddle bug.
Adorable. Oh, I'll tell you what's not adorable. Slavery. Or virtual slavery. The UK tutoring scheme, which has been introduced because of the lockdown and blah, 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 has been employing people under 18s, so children, in Sri Lanka for as little as £1.57 an hour.
What?
It has been, suspended for the time being because it turns out the British government was kind of doing a bit of a slavery.
My jaw is just on the floor.
Yeah. We did warn you. Emotional roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
It's what happens on this show. It's a fact.
Blame Twitter. We would emotionally maybe organize these a bit better. But then again, hit or miss, at least it gives you a break. And not hit or miss, but, up or down. Indeed.
This was, I don't like this. Dozens of young White House staff have been suspended or asked to resign or placed on remote work program due to past marijuana use.
Oh, that's stupid. That should be changed.
Yeah, that's really
honestly,
fucking dumb.
with more and more states legalizing it, it's getting ridiculous to hold people. Yeah.
And of course, it's legal in Washington D.C. So.
Yes.
Even so, but yeah, that's just really fucking dumb. And of course, the vice president has admitted in the past to smoking weed.
Yes, exactly. It's really not a big deal anymore. Need to move on.
Indeed. Yes, today, Representative Jimmy Gomez introduced his privilege resolution to expel Republican Marjorie Taylor-Greene from Congress.
Yep, I've got a clip of that, a short clip of that. Part of it.
Well, we'll wait for that then.
Yeah.
This was an exchange that happened on the floor of the Congress today. Hey, we're wrestling soon, Representative Madison Cawthorn yelled to Jim Jordan on the House floor. I will snap your neck, Jordan replies jokingly.
Okay.
Bants. Not exactly high-level bants going on there.
No.
Yeah.
Not really.
Update on the story that actual election fraud that took place. Former Florida GOP senator and the fake candidate he ran are arrested on charges of campaign finance violations.
Yes. I heard about this, that it had come out, and yes. Oh my gosh, good. Throw the book at him if he did it.
Yep, absolutely.
That's the kind of voter fraud we should be talking about, not this bullshit, make it harder for people of color and students and poor people to vote.
Yeah, indeed. Do you want to see one of the weirdest tattoos ever?
Okay, is this going to be worse than the Donald Trump one?
Depends.
Or was it Elon Musk? Okay.
Well, the Elon Musk. No, that was a drawing.
That was a drawing thing. Hopefully.
I hope it wasn't a tattoo design, because that could be a disaster.
Okay, no. I was going to say, do you remember that time when someone tried to do the art restoration they completely ruined?
Yes, I do.
The person who did your picture was actually better.
Yeah.
Than
Indeed. But this is just weird.
Okay. Let's see it. Okay. Is that Shrek?
That's Shrek. That's bondage
BDSM?
Shrek.
That's bondage Shrek.
Bondage Shrek. It's a thing. It's a thing.
I mean, I guess you could go into a tattoo artist and ask for that, and someone did. I'm just thinking.
It's a thing that happened. I have to see it.
What body is this?
You all have to see it. I think
What
that's a
body part?
leg. Oh no, is that the back of a neck? Is that an ear? Can I see an
I was
ear
thinking
there?
it's the
Hang on.
Is it the back of a neck?
Is that an ear? Can I see an ear? Or no? Hang on, I'm not sure. Or is that soft
Or is it
furnishing?
an arm?
Oh, I don't know. It might be an arm or a leg, maybe. Sorry, for a second I thought that was a neck. No, my bad. I think that's a leg. It looks too chunky.
Yeah, it must be a thigh.
Anyway, so it's just weird. Either way, it doesn't matter where it is. There's no good place for that. Well, in the fucking bin is where that belongs. Anyway.
The crotch, though, someone in the chat says.
Yeah. Oh, this was nice. So we talked, I think you've got the clip of Chip Roy going on about
Yes.
literally bringing up slavery as like a...
Lynching.
Lynching. Apologies. Yeah, lynching is a thing. So Representative Grace Meng kind of had a bit of a clapback. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I want to.
Can you get the context for this? Sorry, they were having a hearing on violence against Asian Americans.
They were.
And yes, he made the comment about in Texas they just get all the rope and an oak tree or some kind of tree. They're just going to lynch someone, and saying, "Oh, we care about justice." We do lynchings. That's how we show we care about justice in Texas. Idiocy. And she came back with this.
Yeah.
I want to go back to something that Mr. Roy said earlier. Your president and your party and your colleagues can talk about issues with any other country that you want, but you don't have to do it by putting a bullseye on the back of Asian Americans across this country, on our grandparents, on our kids. This hearing was to address the hurt and pain of our community and to find solutions, and we will not let you take our voice away from us. Thank you. I yield back.
It's so true that in a hearing about people being attacked, murdered, and white people. This guy wants, this white guy wants to make it about white people again. And it's just a matter of like, just listen to your fellow Americans. Just listen to them with an open mind and an open ear and an open heart, and believe that they're not lying to you and what they're saying is real. But then again, if you let go of the hate, what comes next?
Yeah. Indeed.
Right? Their pain and your a culpability and your accountability for your white privilege.
Yeah. Indeed. Oh, talking of white privilege to a degree, there's a by-election in Britain, which is an election where either someone dies or steps down, and so midway through a parliament, they need a new MP in a place. This specifically in Hartlepool, which, for historical reasons, they're sometimes referred to as monkey hangers. They hung a monkey for being a French spy. Very strange. Long time ago.
A monkey for being part of like
a French spy. French spy.
A French spy.
Yeah, they hanged to death a monkey. It's a long time ago. That's not even meant to be a thing. It's just a weird fact about that town. That's all.
Okay.
Anyway,
it's a thing that happened there. Got it.
That's not the story. That's not news. They didn't do it last week. It was like 200 years ago or something. Anyway.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a by-election. Labour Party had a long list of one candidate.
Wow, they really believe in like competition, huh?
Yeah, it was a white dude, and it's a shit white dude.
Okay.
These are some of his tweets. Do you have a favourite Tory MILF? Is a thing he wrote.
What?
The Muslims of Kampala seem to be celebrating Eid. The aisles were jam-packed with children. Talk about drugs, and then this was a weird one. Today Libya, tomorrow Zimbabwe. So he wants to invade Zimbabwe? What? He's a very strange guy. Hang on 1 second, I've got to let Rory in.
Yeah, some of these are like from 09 and 11, so it would be good to know the context. But no, I'm not saying it blow it off. I'm just like looking at the recency of it.
Come on, Rory, kids. Come in so I can close the fucking door, you prick.
Do we get a kitty cam?
We do. Come on, Rory, kids. You've got one job, motherfucker. Look cute.
Time to be a star.
Camera. Smush kids. What you doing? Yeah. No, just really can't. No. Go on.
Very nice.
Go on the bed. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, he's a weird fish, this chap. Anyway, and also here he is with Rachel Riley, who spent her entire time attacking Jeremy Corbyn for the last few years. So,
okay, so that part of Labour.
Yeah, he's trash. And like I say, selection hearing of one, when a lot of other parties around, a lot of local Labour parties have had all-women shortlists, which you can discuss the rights and wrongs of, but it's happened, and it's sometimes quite inconvenient because getting women to actually stand is not easy. Whereas Hartlepool have just had this dude foisted on them.
Yeah, well, I mean, women have more barriers, and the socialization process also kind of dissuades women to run. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, I'm not making a pro or anti that all women shortlist thing. I'm just saying a lot of people have been put out, whereas in this one they've managed to just shoehorn this right wing prick in.
Yeah.
Anyway, so not cool. Yeah, is eating dessert gay?
What?
This person says, eating sweet foods is a female trait. Citation needed.
Yeah, tell that to the French and their pain au chocolat.
Well, they are pretty gay, to be fair. I once dated a guy who loved...
No, they're just sexy.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, everyone.
I once dated a guy who loved dessert and would always order the most indulgent confection on the menu. Instant turn-off.
What?
You are a weird person. I'm just saying, like, whatever. I mean,
they have a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
I like sweet things.
Yeah.
So most people do.
Yeah. So
our brains are wired for it.
Indeed. These two rabbits called Bada Bing and Bada Boom.
Nice.
I just like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
A tiny monkey army couldn't hold me back.
Indeed. That Bilderberg with 20 bits says, the years I didn't drink cocktails because of toxic masculinity.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you have to get a beer. You couldn't get like a vodka and cranberry or something.
Exactly, because it was a bit gay.
Yeah, or a screwdriver.
Indeed. Anyway, there's a cat being cute on a treadmill thing.
So fit as well. I see why it's so fit.
Flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and here's a cat in a hat. And we're done.
Oh, okay. All right. Time for me to share again.
It is time for you to share again.
It is. All right. So, well, there's this, which is good, but this was just funny. I would like you to read this out, Kevin. Oh, I have.
Oh, God, no. Shit.
Okay.
Why is it not... Fucking Zoom, you prick. Sorry, go on. Being labelled a gifted kid versus what I turned out to be. Vegetarians treat exotic bird. Realise it's just a seagull covered in curry. Oh, God. That's tragic. Oh, no, poor birdie.
And it's veterinarians, not vegetarians, but...
Oh, did I say vegetarians? Okay.
I think you did.
It could be a vegetarian curry.
It could. This made me laugh, so I thought I would share. All right, we don't need anything more about the Naturalization Act. That can go away. Hey, remember Karen in the bank getting arrested video that we watched?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, she got arrested again.
For fuck's sake.
So I saved it. Don't quite know.
That's the weird hill she's prepared to die on, it would seem.
Yep. An Oregon woman who was recorded on police body camera video refusing to wear a mask at a Texas bank last week was arrested Wednesday after declining to wear a mask inside another Texas business. Terry Wright, 65, already had a warrant out for her arrest after she refused to wear a mask last week, Thursday. On the video, she taunts the officer, asking if he's going to arrest her. The answer was yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's not a question that you really ought to ask, because the officer can just say yes and then enforce that shit.
Yes. Police arrested White on Wednesday after she entered the Office Depot in Texas City and said she would not cover her nose and mouth to protect
There's a
against the
place
spread
in
of
Texas
coronavirus.
called Texas City. How
Apparently.
uninspired were the people who made that place? Let's just call it Texas City. Oh, okay.
She was arrested on Galveston warrants. Galveston, thank you. Warrants for trespassing and resisting arrest.
You know why I know that? How to pronounce that?
Is there a sports team there?
No, from the song Sylvia's Mother by Dr. Hook.
How does it go?
She's gone to meet a guy down from Galveston Way.
Ah, well, there you go.
Yeah. Sylvia's mother said, Sylvia's happy. Sorry, go on. It's a little
I'm happy for her.
Well, it's not a happy song.
Look at these jewels.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing.
Aren't they?
Bless.
They're so just mesmerizing.
Oh, just as sweet.
Yes, but in a different way. Yeah. Yes, he's got different sweetness. All right. Right. This was that Joey having an opinion.
Joey.
Did you watch this?
Yes.
Okay. I don't actually remember it all now, so we're just going to play it again because I've forgotten it.
Article. But hang on. Before we move on, though, this should normally be the duty of the friends or boyfriends of the women who are going to these bars and clubs, right? If you're worried about the safety of the women that you're with, you would walk them home, and then, being a chivalrous gentleman, that was...
Yeah, but we don't live in Saudi Arabia. Women are free to go out on their own.
Oh, Joey.
Don't start thinking for yourself now, Joey.
Yeah. Do you want employment or do you want freedom?
Yeah. All right. Emotional roller coaster again. Police suspended over leaked text mocking homeless, discussing whether to face shoot a suspect.
Fucking hell, man.
Sergeant Rodrigo Renier Sanchez and Officer Mark Metlef's texts were also often violent, sexual, and disparaging to women, the mentally ill, and ...
Yeah, the police are trash, man. There's too many of them like this.
Mm-hmm. Right. Why did I say this? Since Biden was inaugurated, QAnon supporters have pushed false claims of supposed proof that Biden hadn't really been president and his activities as president have been real. Okay, yesterday, there was a news story that Biden actually gave a press conference.
Yeah, and it was real rather than fake, because apparently they were saying it was green screened.
Yes, and I've never in my life before had to have the news come out and say, no, the thing we reported on really happened.
Yeah, I don't know where to begin with it, frankly.
Right, and this is what he's pointing out.
Although,
this is the first time that QAnon claims have in some manner really spread elsewhere.
Yeah. Did you see him go all fucking Bambi on the steps today?
Yes. Oh, that was so sad.
Oh.
I'm sure. But you know what? People don't. With Gerald Ford, it kind of became a meme of its day because he was also just like, he took over from Nixon and all that kind of stuff. I actually don't think people are going to remember that in 2 years' time.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. Barely 24 hours after a white domestic terrorist murdered 8 Asian women, 172 Republicans felt compelled to vote no on the reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act.
Because they like violence against women, clearly.
Yes. It's just, who are these
trash.
people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I think I have the name of this senator later on. Blocked a bill. A GOP senator blocked a bill that would have prevented private debt collectors from seizing stimulus checks. I'm laughing because of Rory Katz. I can hear him scratching at the door. Is that him scratching to get out?
That's me scratching my balls.
Do you want to let him out?
No, he's out. I let him in. He then wanted to get out, so I let him out, and now he wants back in.
Just take the door down.
No, take the door down. No, I'm not redesigning my fucking house for a cat. No.
You already put in a cat flap once. Just
I
do it
did.
again.
No, fuck him. He's been a prick.
All right, we're all gonna ignore Rory Katz.
Exactly.
So
We're going to ignore him, and he'll get bored and go away.
So, I mean, if you had any wonder, is the GOP the party of the working class? No. They're the party of the debt collectors before buying food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can't. I'd love to actually question this person as to what the fuck they think they're doing. This is such a disgusting thing to have done. But you'd rather private debt collectors take the stimulus checks and just put it in their bank account of some massive corporation. Like, fuck you, man.
Because I'll end up in their donations.
Yeah.
Next time around.
Yeah.
Did you cover this? About the Golden Dawn?
Yes, I did. Well, no, I haven't covered it recently, but I remember when their leader got imprisoned about 6 months ago or something.
Yeah. Why did I... This is from 2020.
So I did cover it then, yes. Okay.
Yes. Sorry, I don't even know that's in there.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, more transphobic legislation. Not only are they attacking bodily autonomy when it comes to pregnant people, but also when it comes to trans people. GOP will not stop till they enforce patriarchy on all of us.
Yeah.
That's ultimately, I mean, all of this, like misogyny and transphobia and homophobia, are just different facets of patriarchy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, right. Soon after the Supreme Court announced they would hear a challenge to the Trump administration's ban on federal funding for clinics that made abortion referrals, the Biden administration announced it's restoring.
Go on.
It's restoring Title IX programs to how it ran pre-Trump. So more unfucking from
Isn't that
the
Title
executive
10?
branch. It is Title 10. You're right. I just looked away and I assumed it was 9.
I don't know what title it comes
No,
under,
you're
but
right.
if the person, I assumed like the.
It says 10 right there. Yeah.
No, it does say 10 right there, but I don't know what it was. I was just like, I don't know, because I don't know the difference between the titles and what they mean. I
literally just took my eye off the ball.
And I was thinking,
Or
I'm not a
in this case.
numeral expert, but I'm sure that's one number. Okay.
All right. Gonna need the sound up for this one.
Okay.
Oh, no, maybe it's not this one. I'll let you know. I've got some kitty videos. So,
which is unusual for this show.
Oh yes, it is.
I can't hear that. Oh, can you? Oh, bless. Vampire cat.
It is. Just chattering away. Oh, this is good. You want to read this one out?
Abortion is murder. Then why doesn't God just help them? Free will. What? God is pro-choice. Block. That's about how it goes. Yep.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. We haven't really talked about it, but there is more evidence that, Trump was a good old Russian asset, just like we've been saying since 2015. Congress is at some point going to have to start doing proper investigations. I mean, I know they're busy now with passing bills, but we're going to need some oversight on this.
Yeah, I can't believe he was ever allowed to have a meeting without any other US person with Putin. It's so obviously suspect as fuck.
Yeah, and Putin obviously feels pretty dinged by Biden. First he did the classic, he actually did debate me, bro.
He did. He's gone debate, bro. He's gone full, like, debate me. You're like, motherfucker, you're going to ask for citations next.
And no. What he did next is, I know you are, but what am I?
Oh,
Look
God.
at this. Go ahead, read the top
Putin
one.
says it takes one to know one after Biden agrees with statement calling the Russian president a killer. He's going to say he's cringe and he's a bad faith actor.
Yeah.
And this is totally unpoggers of him. I'm telling you.
Yep. Oh, stay mad, Vlad.
Yeah, indeed.
Oh, you want to read this one?
I didn't know they were Jewish. Marjorie Taylor-Greene claims ignorance of sharing anti-Semitic theory. You didn't know who were Jewish? What?
Shall we?
Yeah, let's have a look. That's, yeah.
Sorry.
Because if it's something like fucking Goldstein, I'm going to have to call bullshit on her.
Oh, yes. All right. So she was talking about the Rothschild, but Green insisted she wasn't aware.
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. No. Fucking, what you call it? Old Jewish space lasers Green. I'm not believing that she's fucking, that she doesn't know the Rothschilds. Is like, that's proper up there levels of anti-Jewish bigotry.
Yeah. Quote, I didn't even know and didn't find out until recently that the Rothschilds were Jewish. Unquote.
Hang on. The lawmaker visited Orthodox neighbourhoods in Brooklyn and Long Island earlier this week, organised by conservative Shovavei Zion congregation, and she was unfamiliar with the banking dynasty. Oh, shut the fuck up. I'm calling bullshit on you. No.
Yeah,
Absolute
how do you get
nonsense.
To be that age and not know? I'm sorry.
And she was in fucking conspiracy circles long enough that she knows exactly what that is.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. Of course she is. All right. I didn't retweet this because I don't like to retweet Bill Kristol, but he did have a stat in here, so I did bookmark it. A live color poll of likely Texas voters conducted by a Republican pollster finds 86% of Texans thought the 2020 elections went well. 97% had a good experience voting, and 73%, including 58% of Republicans, support extending early voting for a week or by a week.
Yeah, but they kind of let black people vote.
Right.
Because then Texas might not be as red as they think.
It's another case where it's a 70-30 issue and the Republicans are on the wrong side.
But they still end up getting their way.
For now. For now.
Indeed.
All right. Oh, yeah. Don't let the news cycle distract you from the fact that the ODNI's report implicates Devin Nunes, John Radcliffe, Bill Barr, Ron Johnson, Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, Rudy Giuliani, Paul Manafort, Louis Gohmert, and others in a Russian-led effort to interfere with the 2020 election.
Not surprising.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, this was...
Yeah. Oh, it's a different clip, isn't it?
This is Tammy Duckworth. Yes. And So, because, again, we're talking about violence against Asian Americans, and we can talk about the issue, but I also think it's important to platform and lift up the voices of people who are directly affected. And so I just wanted to get this little clip in.
Well, you know, it's funny. API are the one group in the United States that are often treated as the other. To this day, I still get asked, so where are you from, really? And when I say, well, actually, my ancestors have been here since before the Revolution. I'm a daughter of the American Revolution. You might recall during the debates for my last election, my own opponent questioned my ancestry, you know, whether or not I was American enough, just because I am biracial, I'm half Asian. And that's what Asian Americans see all the time. When I was in service, people would often, you know, I'm from Chicago, so a lot of the guys in my National Guard unit are Polish and Irish guys, big, tall, blonde guys, you know? And we would go places and people would be like, wait, the little Asian girl is in charge? And on the one hand, that is great for the United States, that diversity is there, and that when we present ourselves to the world, we show how great and diverse our nation is. But on the other hand, it is this systemic, persistent perception of Asians as not being Americans or as being others, and especially Asian women as being meek and subservient, and they're often targeted. A lot of these hate crimes you see are targeting Asian elderly and Asian women in particular.
Yeah. No, good points, powerfully made.
Oh, right. Yes. So Putin said this. He says to Biden after Biden threw shade his way. He's like, "I wish you good health," and then he had to say, and I'm saying that without irony or jokes.
Yeah, if there's anything more sinister than Vladimir Putin wishing you good health, I've yet to see it.
Yeah, when a world leader has to clarify, he's actually not alluding to killing you.
Which, again, it just makes it more sinister, because now you're like, no, he's definitely talking about killing you then.
Yes. Yeah. Right, what's this? Oh, some of the tax records from Trump, I think, are being transferred as well. But there's just too much news to cover everything, so. Right. Steven Crowder, we talked about his video being taken down for COVID stuff, not for racism. No. We'll skip Lauren. What's this? Blah, blah, blah. Don't care. I'm moving. Oh, right. This is good. The House passes an immigration bill that would create a pathway to citizenship for millions of dreamers, undocumented immigrants who came to the U.S. as children, and grant others granted temporary protection, from deportation.
Which is good.
So not just children, but some other categories too.
Now, I don't know the exact details of this plan, but the fact that I know it will piss Tucker Carlson off is enough. That's enough for me to be like, okay, yeah, I'm on board. I'd vote for it. I've not read a fucking word of it, and I'd vote for the bastard. Definitely.
Yes. Oh, right. This, unbelievable. This is from Law and Crime. Judge rules some of, how do you say her name?
Ghislaine
Maxwell. Details are too sensational and impure to be revealed to the public.
Impure? Like,
what?
What does that even mean? In a legal sense, Mr. Judge Man, what the fuck does the word impure mean?
That is an excellent... I don't think there's a legal definition for that.
Yeah, that's nonsense. Also, we know it's going to be fucked up. We're talking about mass, decades-long trafficking and rape of children. So we know that it's not going to be like nice details, but that's the point. That's why they're in the public interest. If it was all nice and fluffy, no one would care.
Yes, so it says here, at least some of the redactions to which the defendant objects relate to private family affair, third-party stuff, blah, blah, blah. But then Judge Nathan, citing privacy interests, did side with Maxwell on several redactions proposed to transcripts submitted as part of the government's filing, finding that to make these details public would only tend to cater to an appetite for the, quote, sensational and impure, unquote.
Why are people like this allowed to be judges? This is fucking nonsense.
Yeah, I would appeal this.
That's
I mean, I don't know where in the appeal process that should come, but...
Absolute bullshit. That's some proper bullshit. Look, yeah, if it's a third party who's innocent of any accusation, okay, you can redact a name or an address or something, whatever. Yeah. But the details of horrific crimes, yeah, it does appeal to a certain sensationalist, and there are some people who are weird and all the rest of it, but... that it's still very much in the public interest. This story is of significant public interest, I think.
Justice is telling the truth about what happened, ultimately. I mean, in an ideal world, right? And the victims, what they endured If they want to present that in their testimony, and they have, then that should be presented.
Yeah, of course it should, but the legal system, I mean, she's rich and white, so, like, she probably got a good lawyer or some shit.
Yeah. Oh, right, these two. This suits are bullshit.
Yeah, we covered
Like
this,
Cardi,
didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, but also the content of it. Cardi B, like, retweeted somebody who had photoshopped a picture of Candace Owens' brother. And she was, like, saying he'd had an affair or something.
Well, this is the thing. Like, if Elon Musk can get away with calling someone who isn't a pedophile, then I don't... Is it possible to slander someone in America, legally speaking? Is that a thing that's even, like, realistically against the law?
And also, she wouldn't have standing because the post was about her brother, not her. So anyway, but yeah, that was just like I looked into it a bit more, and it was just really silly. It was completely silly.
Look, I agree that the British laws are a bit strange, but I mean, it's a pretty clear cut. If someone hasn't been diddling children and you accuse them of that, I'd suggest that's a bit slanderous.
All right, so Kristi brought this to my attention.
Who's this then? Who's she? What?
I don't know how much time for this we'll have, but this Wall Street Journal editorial on California's ethnic studies curriculum is incredibly misleading. I'll explain why in a moment, but I first really want to hit home the torrent of bullshit that critics are directing against the ethnic studies curriculum. And then it's too long, but what I'll do is I will retweet this. I already retweeted Kristi, so I'll retweet. It's fine. I'm retweeting the tweet, not the article. All right. And you can check that out. Again, it's one of these attempts we want to tell the truth about, people want to tell the truth about white supremacy, and that makes other people very angry.
Well, like all systems of power, they've got some pretty significant inbuilt self-defense mechanisms.
Yes, true.
And this is one of them, lying. Just outright propaganda.
And trying to, teach propaganda as well.
Yeah. Oh, talking about propaganda.
Yep, Stephen Miller is running a shadow war against Biden. It's based on deception. This is like, this was my point. Yes, we knocked over the figurehead of Trump, but, we kind of had a couple weeks to enjoy the Trump-free world, but all of his minions are still at work.
Yeah, I'm just saying, personal message to the Grim Reaper, if you're doing requests... I'll leave it there.
Yes. Oh, the North Carolina Proud Boy leader was arrested and charged in regards to the mega terrorist attack yesterday.
I do hope you like prison food.
Yes. Enjoy. George Takei, just stop white terrorism. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's, please.
Indeed.
It's well past.
I think that's a tune we can all dance to.
Yep. Oh, yeah, this. So it's a reporter. Where is she a reporter? New York Times contributing writer. I received an email in 2016 that knocked me off my feet. It was a tip about Jesuit priests who sold 272 people in 1838 to save Georgetown University.
That's pretty incredible.
Catholic priests.
That's in Washington, D.C., isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Georgetown, yeah.
Yep.
This wasn't a Jesuit. Catholic priests participated in the slave trade. Why didn't I know? Oh, well, I didn't know specifically about Georgetown University, but yeah, Catholic priests were at the heart of the slave trade. The papacy was finally in tune with it at times. Yeah.
All right, I need you. Oh, next, I want to know if you can translate this for me.
Go on then. Okay, right. It's a meme, naturally. So, yes, Spurs refers to Tottenham Hotspur, who are a football team in North London, who are known to, let's say, self-immolate at times.
Choke?
Yeah, they're a team synonymous with choking, and they did indeed during the week, losing to a team called Slavia Prague. It's very funny. Anyway, so that's trophies, as in they're trying to get to the trophies, and that's Spurs stopping Spurs from doing that, is the basic underlying premise.
Okay. I kind of got that. I didn't know the sporting context, but thank you.
Yeah, they got knocked out of the Europa League by a team who were shit. No offense to Slavia Prague, but I mean, you're in Prague. Like, that shouldn't be a thing.
Prague is a lovely city.
It's a lovely city, not an economic or footballing powerhouse of recent times, let's say.
Yes. Okay. Emotional roller coaster again. Again, just as getting back to the Violence Against Women Act. They start speeches with, as a father, dad, son, but oppose the Violence Against Women Act. What do they tell the women who are being abused?
Well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's the practical issue with that. But when you start with, as a father, dad, son, blah, 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 you're basically saying they're not intrinsically of any value, only it would emotionally annoy you if they were hurt. Not that they're worth anything in of themselves. They're only worth anything in relation to the fact that they're related to you in some way, which is a bit shit. Don't do that.
Quite. Sorry, I saw that 8DX in the chat is having a bit of a go at you with your anti-Prague stance there. Anti-Prague sports stance.
Look, don't get me wrong. Dukla Praha and all the rest of it, I'm not having a go. I'm just saying, when was the last time one of the Prague teams won a European competition? It's been a while. That's all I'm saying. A team as well funded as Tottenham Hotspur should not be losing to a team from Prague or from virtually anywhere in Eastern Europe, frankly. But there we go. It's just economics. I'm not arguing anything beside that.
Okay. This is kind of like counterintuitive to me, but Kentucky state legislature is on the brink of approving a new law that would make it easier for state residents to vote.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that was far more surprising to me than anything else we've heard tonight. Frankly, Kentucky are doing a good thing. What?
Yeah, I know.
Kentucky hasn't done anything good since the chicken. It did the chicken, and then it stopped being good forever, and now it's done a thing again. Like, okay. I mean, I'm glad, but I'm taken aback. Kentucky, well done.
Yeah. Again, emotional.
I mean, they can't even pronounce Derby correctly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. We're going to take a more serious emotional turn here because I've got to the tweet where we have the known names of the victims. I'm not going to disrespect them by trying to read them out. So I'm just going to put them up there. And there are two other victims they're having a hard time tracking their families, is my understanding.
But ironically it says say their names.
I know. Do you want to try?
Okay, well, just because it says say their names, so we've got delay.
We'll each take one.
Okay, but who's taking the third one? Let's be honest, that's going to be the tricky one.
Well, if you go first, it's going to be you.
Delana Ashley Yuan.
Paul Andre Michels.
Oh, okay. Zhaoji Tan.
Dayo Feng.
Julie Park.
Hyeon Young Park.
There we go. Yes, rest in peace, of course. Hopefully something positive comes out of this if people are actually, do manage to curtail the anti-Asian hatred in America. But I'm not hopeful. No, I'm hopeful but not optimistic.
Yeah, not short term, maybe not long term, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right, yeah. Pelosi says of the voting rights bill, if it can't be passed because of the filibuster, we have to take a look at that. If you could do it for Supreme Court justices, why can't you do it for democracy?
Indeed, yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think they're going to bring back the talking filibuster.
They fucking should.
I know, they...
I think Yeah, go on, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was just that when the filibuster talk came up, I actually mentioned that Joe Manchin had mentioned the talking filibuster. And it seemed... And other people were mentioning it too as a way to actually go back to how it used to be conservative in that way, if you want to say, but also solve the problem because you're not blowing it up. You're just actually making it a filibuster.
Yeah. Also, I was struck by your use of the phrase mentioned. which I'll be honest, everything after that I blanked on. I had no idea what you were talking about.
If you didn't, yeah, that was just noise. If you were just listening to someone like as a second language English mentioned.
Yeah, we were talking.
That was
about,
like
taunt. That's what it reminded me of. I was like, any French people now are going to be smugly chuckling as they take a drag from their gauloise and drink some fine French wine, going, "These hypocritical Anglo scum." Ugh. Tom to Tom. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
Alrighty. What is this? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Content warning for racial slurs. But yeah, Parler is terrible.
It is.
Yes. Oh, we talked about this already.
Yeah.
This is yes. I guess it was police saying, but he was he arrested and charged.
Yeah. Fuck you. Yeah.
Yep. All right. This. In an unprecedented move, the Northern Ireland Secretary will have the power to compel Stormont to implement the new abortion laws.
Yeah, Stormont is where the seat of the Northern Irish Assembly is. It's basically a bit of Northern Ireland. Yeah.
Right. So what is do you know this offhand, or should I open this up?
Well, I mean, this is based on the fact that there was a bill passed by the British Parliament which basically would have implemented these laws on Northern Ireland, and I think everyone agreed that the Northern Ireland Assembly should be allowed to do that. But there seems to be some sticking point because there's the DUP, who are bigoted scum, don't want to do that. Their official position is anti-abortion. And so eventually it was always going to come to this, I think, that the UK government was going to have to impose that on Northern Ireland, which the DUP shouldn't have a problem with, because in virtually every other area, because they're what's called loyalists or fuck's sake, unionists, they don't want to diverge from the laws of London because they feel like drifting away and becoming part of Ireland or whatever. Except when it comes to abortion and gay marriage. Then they were very, very keen to drift away from London. And so eventually the London government are going to have to impose that on Northern Ireland, because it's absolutely unbelievable and unacceptable, especially given now that south of the border they're going to be legalising abortion in some swift amount of time. That Northern Ireland and its women are going to be stuck in the situation. And of course, the same was true of both North and South, that all you were doing was forcing those women of Ireland to travel to the UK to get an abortion. That's all that happened. You didn't actually stop a single fucking abortion. They just took the ferry to Wales and did it there.
Yeah, just made it more inconvenient for pregnant people to get an abortion.
Yeah, look, it's nonsense. So, and the rights of, was it nearly 1 million women in Northern Ireland being trampled on? Yeah, it's not acceptable.
Okay. So, yes, just kind of like, as you say, they're all for London and Westminster until it comes to gay marriage and abortion rights.
Indeed. Not surprising, given that, as we talked about with Sophia yesterday. By the way, go and subscribe to Sophia Christina Botha. The DUP was set up by Ian Paisley Senior, now dead, still funny, who can get some lols in chat for Ian Paisley Senior being still dead. He became famous in the 60s for A, being a piece of shit who was against the peace process, and B, for his campaign, quote, "Save Ulster from sodomy." Yeah.
I don't know that so Ulster actually ever asked to be saved from sodomy.
No, and all of those well, not all, but most of those engaged in sodomy in Northern Ireland probably don't think a bit of being saved. They're quite happy with the sodomy, it would appear.
Yeah. Leave my sodomy. Government hands off my sodomy.
Exactly. Get your government hands off my bumhole. Anyway, the point being that so the
it's not just oral sex is also sodomy.
Is it? Is that true? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you're wrong. Anyway, oh God, be careful what you fucking type here, because this is going to go live on my channel. So the party set up by the guy who wanted to save Ulster from sodomy might be a little homophobic. Cal surprise. Define sodomy. Oh no.
Oh, I've got the keyboards are switched around. I'll just put it this way so we get it narrowed down. Any non-procreative sexual activity.
Oh really? Oh, I thought it was bum love.
No, it's not exclusively bum love.
Well, there we go. We've learned that's bum love fact for you there, rather than my bum love fiction, which you can read. Which you can read online.
We've expanded your understanding of the concept of sodomy, and know that it's not. Yeah, it includes. BJs.
Okay, well, yeah. So any non-procreative gay sex. So apologies. Yeah. He was more bigoted than I gave him credit for. I thought he was just against the bum love, but apparently not.
Nope. Also giving or getting head.
Which is just evil. Why would you be against that? It's a beautiful thing. What a fucking lunatic. Clearly a man who's never had his dick sucked. I'm sorry, I'm putting it out there.
All right. So emotional roller coaster again. Sorry, off of the fun topic of sodomy onto more close to the racist white people history month. Okay. This is just a little reminder of when white supremacists in America literally committed a violent coup in 1898 after black people were elected to Wilmington, North Carolina Council. The white supremacists killed the black leaders and burned black businesses to the ground. I don't see Ben Shapiro complaining about this.
No, because that's black people. Who cares? That's his. I mean, he wouldn't be as open about that because he's not honest. But you know, also Dean Obadala's a fine Arab American comedian.
Yeah, I've been. He does a show.
Does he?
He's got he's the host of the Dean Obadiah Show.
I wonder why it's called that.
I don't know. Oh God.
Oh, this person's such trash.
She is. Racism doesn't exist in America, Kevin. Don't you know the white lady is going to lecture you when she's surrounded by white people?
Oh, I believe her. Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Here we go.
For decades, we're fighting. It doesn't exist in America. And for decades.
Doesn't exist in America. To me, because I'm white.
Yeah, because it used to exist, but it was killed by the Jewish space lasers. So. So I did. That's a satire.
Yes.
I did a satire of her racism.
And a callback.
And a callback, yeah.
All right, this was the Gomez thing. I've got that in a second. Oh, right. I couldn't believe this exchange. Lincoln Project tweeted out, Marjorie Taylor-Greene, let's get that trending. And look at what she replied.
What are you going to do, Posse? I mean, there are various things that one could be offended with here. Mine would be the lack of a question mark.
Yes, you know that about you, Kevin.
Poor form. If you don't want to learn the language, fuck off back to wherever you came from.
I wonder if this she wouldn't really put that on her tweet. Maybe that's her private account. I don't know. Anyway, that's still funny. All right. Yep. Now we found out she didn't even have her account suspended. So a little bit of a false alarm there. Ron Johnson's still a racist.
that's just like a weekly thing now. We do it every week. Just Kristi scrolls by and goes, "Fuck Ron Johnson, racist prick."
It's like a personal thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a hometown thing. That's fine. Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Hey, you know what 3 in 5 Americans are like? Infrastructure.
Yes, and 2 out of 5 Americans have never left their house or something. With the crumbling road, like literally bridges collapsing in the richest society ever. Mental.
Yeah. We got money for tax breaks for billionaires and stock, shareholders.
And that's why you've got no money for infrastructure.
Yes, exactly. Oh, this was the piece of shit that we were talking about earlier.
Also doesn't know how to use a mask.
No.
The fuck is wrong with that? Well, you're just weird, Mr.
Droopy.
Roy. Good Lord.
Bit on the droopy side.
Yeah.
And that was her response, which we've already seen. So.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. This must be one of those Trump judges. All right. D.C. Circuit Judge Silberman just released a truly wild dissent calling on the Supreme Court to overturn New York Times versus Sullivan, claiming the New York Times and the Washington Post are, quote, virtually Democratic Party broadsheets, unquote, and accusing, quote, big tech, unquote, of censoring conservatives.
This is the politically neutral judge, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Silberman explicitly attacks Twitter for restricting the New York Post's Hunter Biden laptop story.
Oh, this is fucking AIDS, man. Jesus.
Complains that there are serious efforts to muzzle Fox News. And writes that Democratic Party ideological control of the media is a threat to a viable democracy.
Look, all I'm saying is if they can muzzle Fox News, that's the only kind of fox hunting I would ever support. Okay?
All right. Also, I thought this particular would rub your be the wrong way. Okay. Let me just find the line. When he's talking about Fox News. So let me go back. Was it this one? Oh, yes. To be sure, there are a few notable exceptions to the Democratic Party ideological control, Fox News, the New York Post, and the Wall Street Journal's editorial page. It should be sobering for those concerned about news bias that those institutions are controlled by a single man and his son. Will a lone holdout remain in what is otherwise a frighteningly orthodox media culture?
Are you fucking kidding me? Is this person real?
Yes.
Holy shit, this person needs to be taken immediately away from any position of authority ever. This is so obviously fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, the best footnote of the night comes on page 3 here, 13. Footnote 13. The reasons for press bias are too complicated to address here, but they surely relate to bias at academic institutions.
Oh, fuck's sake, Prager, have Prager taken human form and become a judge?
Pretty much.
Fucking Christ. Oh.
Happily, he can be overruled, but he's going to be a problem. Yep.
Absolute cancer.
Okay, so let's look at a dog that's really wanted to
go
in the pool today.
It's raining.
It's raining instead.
You sausage. Oh.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow. All right, we got some cute videos now.
That's a little puppy dog and a butterfly or something?
Yes.
Oh, bless. Who's winning?
And the thing is, the butterfly is, I'll comment on, this is not CGI, people are, but the butterfly is like right well up for it.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. Oh.
Essa é boa. Ó, na mãozinha.
Also, this dog's a shit hunter.
I don't think he's trying to kill it. I think he's trying to play with it.
I'm not sure.
Sorry. But it won't go over this part of the house. It won't go in the house. It stays outside.
That's fair enough. He wasn't invited. Doesn't want to break trespass laws.
So the account says, I see a lot of people claiming CGI shenanigans, but the movement or behavior of the butterfly looks too choppy. And they basically go on to say it's not. It's just how they get caught on the camera, and it's not CGI. So whatever, it's just something to enjoy. Yay. Oh, do you think howling of dogs sounds like music to them?
No, it's just talking, isn't it?
I just wonder if it's like their version of drinking songs.
Yeah, these lads have had an absolute lash. And they're out there having a good old fucking sing song.
Yep. Oh,
they're about to go get a kebab and fucking sleep one off tomorrow.
All right, this is a very, very adorable. I'll keep the music low. I don't think it'll get done for copyright, but it doesn't matter anyway. This is not a video that'll get taken down.
Oh. Oh. Oh, that's too cute. Oh, bless it. Oh, God. Oh, my heart is liquid. Oh, that's fucking adorable, man.
Isn't that good? That's good.
That's beautiful.
All right, just cute kitty.
Oh, Kristi, I'm going to get diabetes. What are you doing to me?
Look at the little stretches.
Oh.
It's just a little puff ball.
Yeah.
This is a ball of puff with eyes. Oh, right, this. Okay, so we had the chattering cat earlier.
We did.
Now we've got another cat who makes noises.
엄마 화났어? 왜 화났어?
It's a fucking gremlin.
발 밟아가지고? 응?
Oh.
Boop.
공수야.
Oh. Oh, my heart, Kristi. I can't take any more.
How about...
Oh, butt wiggle.
Yes. Sorry, I'll have to put the sound on and start it again. It all happens so fast. You know what cats are like when you start scritching on fabrics.
Oh. Hunter.
Yes. Oh, some good news. Since we are fans of animals, we take a lot of our therapy from their lives on this show. So a bit of good news for animals in Los Angeles. The city of Los Angeles has become a no-kill city for animal shelters for the first time.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Making it the largest no-kill city in the country.
Oh, that's awesome. Good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and this is... Holy shit. Okay, I think we're going to end here because this is just phenomenal.
Okay.
But you know how they talk about the biggest living creatures in the world?
Yeah, my dick, yeah.
All right, well, to give you a sense of how fucking massive these creatures are.
Ooh, hello.
People can't see. Damn it, I hate when that happens. All right, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Just get a sense of... This is an entire boat with, like, multiple people can fit on this, right?
That's a big old... Look at that, it's fucking... Jesus. Holy moly.
This boat is, like, as wide as its tail.
Yeah.
And its tail is the smallest thing on it.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It's just enormous.
Thank you.
You put it upright, and you could probably... It'd be like a 3-story house or something.
Are you talking about my dick again, or... What's going on?
All right, and that...
Should we end there?
Yeah, we should end there, because otherwise Matt Gates being a prick, but that can wait till next time.
Indeed. Well, there we go.
That was a show, folks.
That was a
Hope
thing.
You liked it.
That was a thing that happened.
These are minutes of your life that are now gone.
Exactly. Feel free to complain. I would.
So what do you got coming up on your channel, Kevin?
Stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Stuff and
I'll probably
things?
do something over the weekend. I definitely want to take a look at the... Destiny and Vosh. Two white cis guys. So naturally they jumped into a conversation about trans people and then the N-word.
Oh, these self-appointed white guys. Who are they talking to? More self-appointed white guys?
No, they went onto a thing and it was initially trans people, and that's fine. But they're not trans.
Yeah.
And then they started having a discussion about the N-word, and again, I can't think of two people less qualified. But anyway, there you go. So I might take a look at that. Yeah, at some point over the weekend. Maybe tonight, maybe not. I don't know.
And there's a yes, he said Sargon's back on his COD Daily.
No, actually on the Sargon channel.
Oh, on the Sargon channel. Okay.
Yeah.
He's bopping around all over.
He is indeed. He's a silly Billy.
Yes. I want to know more
What?
about that.
What have you got? What have you got going on your channel, Kristi?
Well, I've got maybe on Saturday. Well, I don't know how. Chrissy had to skip out last week. But if she is up for playing on Saturday night, we should have our finale, part 3, our 3-part finale.
That's not a finale then.
It's 4-part finale to the one shot that we started a month and a half ago.
Oh God. Okay.
And then Sunday, I haven't decided a topic yet, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to talk about on Sunday. But I will have a show on Sunday. It's not as sweary. It's a bit more nerdy, and you're all invited to come by. And of course, I also put up the scientific racism dude today, the video for William Shockley.
Yes.
That went up. Oh, we did that at the top of the show. So yeah, that's what's happening on my channel.
Cool. Well, I look forward to it enormously. And you've already taught us so much about sodomy tonight. So.
Yes, Kevin's whole world is now everything you understand has to be expanded. All of that all that oral sex retrofitted.
Yeah, exactly. You've warped my fragile little mind, Kristi. Okay, well, I'm going to raid you over to who's going. Bad Bunny's up to something. Oh, pardon me. Very yawny. Anyway, so
after the show, you just go right to sleep, right?
I do. I ejaculate and fall asleep.
Stop it.
Oh,
get some help.
Well, there you go. Thank you. Thank you, Leechens, for subscribing with Prime. Legendary activity. Yeah, thank you for listening and watching. You've all been atrocious. Up your fucking game. All of you. I'm only joking. Thank you all for listening and watching. I'll be back at some point over the weekend. Go and subscribe to Kristi. All of my links are below. Yeah, thank you all for listening and watching. Goodbye from me, and goodbye from Kristi. Say goodbye, Kristi.
Goodbye, Kristi.
She did a bit.
I did.